building would go up near Farwell and Brady, according to plans approved by a Common Council committee today. One resident testified before the committee, upset with the size of the project.
Developers want to make the most money they possibly can from building the most lavish project on site they can. It's not serving the neighborhood need.
The full council will consider the hotel project next week.
Milwaukee police are investigating after a body was found near Water Street. MPD saying an unidentified male body was found floating in the water this morning. They're investigating his cause of death, but right now they say it does not appear to be suspicious.
The Brewers look to bounce back in the desert. Bob Brainerd is in on Sports Next, but first time for WTMJ Tax Tips, sponsored by the Neal Group.
Where's my money? I'm Daria Albinger with today's tax tip. You sent in your return. You know you have money coming back to you. You've already spent it in your head, and you're sitting there refreshing your online bank account or watching for the mailman. Like so many other Americans this time of year, you're wondering, where's my refund?
You can start by checking the status of your refund on the IRS's Where's My Refund page. There's actually a page for that. To do that, you're going to need your Social Security number and your individual taxpayer ID number and the amount of the refund you're expecting.
ABC News business correspondent Alexis Christoforos. There are some reasons why your refund may be delayed, like
an incomplete return, an inaccurate return, maybe you had to amend your return, and also claiming tax credits like the earned income tax credit or a child tax credit can delay your return.
So that online shopping cart may have to stay full just a little longer. With today's tax tip, Daria Albinger, ABC News.
Tax tips are brought to you by the Neal Group. For less stress with the IRS, visit nealgroup.net. That's nealgroup.net for a free consultation. And traffic this afternoon is sponsored by Roto-Rooter, the sewer and drain experts you've trusted for over 85 years.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 3:04.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of Right Choice Tax Resolution. I just finished writing a book about my experiences dealing with the IRS. It is already a bestseller. The IRS is the most ruthless collection agency in the world. They can seize your bank accounts, garnish your wages, and even take your house. The state can deny your professional license as a teacher, nurse, or other occupation. Do you want your employer to know about your problems? My book tells you what you can do so you don't have to worry about them ever again. Don't bury your head in the sand and hope the problem will go away. It will only get worse unless you step up and do something. We can help. We help reduce or eliminate penalties, negotiate payment plans, and represent you in tax audits. Make the right choice and go to rightchoicetax.us to book a call or meeting right now. We know you want to take the first step in getting the IRS off your back so you can live again. That's rightchoicetax.us.
This report is sponsored by Creative Planning. Give your wealth a second look. CreativePlanning.com.
World-changing question. Are you keeping as much of your investment gains as possible? High taxes can erode returns quickly, so you need a tax-optimized portfolio. At Creative Planning, our money managers and specialists work together to make sure your portfolio and wealth are managed in a tax-efficient manner. It's what you keep that really matters. Why not give your wealth a second look? Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Life's more rewarding at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. We're the lawn and garden experts, offering unbeatable prices on supplies to build out your dream yard. Like all Livingston vegetable and flower seeds, 25% off MSRP. Save 10% on all Longfield spring bulbs. Select 20-pound bags of estate grass seed, $10 off. Plus, for outdoor pets, get $30 off a PetSafe Stay and Play wireless pet fence kit. Blaine's Rewards members get a free $10 Farm and Fleet gift card with purchase. Shop our new Blaine's Farm and Fleet store in Grafton, located at 1771 Wisconsin Avenue.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Here's Bob Brainerd.
Corbin Burns will attempt to right the ship in Arizona tonight as the Brewers and Diamondbacks tangle in Game 2 of their three-game series. Zach Gallen had Milwaukee tied up in knots last night, pitching 7 innings of shutout baseball, whiffing 11.
I thought his curveball was really good tonight. We just didn't we couldn't see it. You know, it wasn't first strike as much as it was down in the zone, down out of the zone, and kept getting swings, especially early in the game. He got a lot of swings on it out of the zone. So it was a good pitch. You know he's got it, but it was good enough where we weren't recognizing it.
Yeah, he was nasty. That's Brewer skipper Craig Counsell. D-backs have won 4 straight. Catch the action tonight at 8 p.m. here on 620 WTMJ. The Bucks will tune in tonight to watch Miami and Atlanta tangle in an NBA play-in contest. The winner gets Boston. The loser could face Milwaukee if they win another game. Coach Bud not worried about getting the jump on their first-round opponent.
Yeah, those guys will, they'll maintain, they kind of have teams and, so they'll be preparing and, some of the other guys can do some side projects. And, I think we'll probably focus a lot on ourselves, too, to be honest with you. And the appropriate amount of scouting and prep will be put in.
And Packers president Mark Murphy hopped on a bus to kick off the team's tailgate tour this morning. You know darn well audience members will have one ginormous question to ask the Packers prez.
Are you expecting a lot of questions about this during this tour, and how do you plan on handling those?
I do anticipate quite a few questions, and I anticipate saying that there is no update. That's, it is interesting that 15 years ago we were in a similar situation.
Yeah, similar situation. The whole Brett Favre thing has come back to roost here, but insert Aaron Rodgers over Brett Favre. So it sounds like Mark Murphy, Sandy and John, I think he's got a gag order from someone in the front office.
He has to.
Yes.
The board is nervous as hell anytime he walks before a microphone.
Yeah. So that was very un-Mark Murphy-esque to just kind of dampen anything with the trade. He's letting the process play out, which he should, but to not have any. That was Jason Wilde from Wilde and Tausch, by the way.
His voice.
Yeah. So Wilde tees him up and gets nothing.
Oh,
from
on
Mark
this
Murphy.
bus tour, he's going to give us something.
Oh,
he can't help himself.
Somewhere in Toma or some reaches of the state, it's going to be blurted out, and it's going to make all the headlines.
Talking to a senior citizens home from Shawano, Mark Murphy told the world.
I'm a Saturday Night Live fan, and Kristen Wiig played a character once where a family was going to plan a surprise party, and as soon as they tell this character, she cannot contain herself, and she's trying to cover up.
Oh my God! That's going to be Murphy.
So I feel like that's him inside. He's like, "Don't say it, don't say it, don't say it."
It's coming, folks. Just wait.
You got it. The 3 at 3 up next.
The World Eating Championship Burrito has arrived at Qdoba, featuring freshly grilled chicken, Qdoba's custom 3-cheese queso, hand-smashed guacamole, roasted tomato salsa, cilantro lime rice, and black beans. Packed with flavor and featured in the first ever World Burrito Eating Championship. It's available for a limited time only, exclusively online at Qdoba.com or on the Qdoba app. It's the World Eating Championship Burrito. Available now at Qdoba.com and the Qdoba app until April 21st.
All Brewers games are on sale now, including a marquee weekend matchup versus the Red Sox April 21st through the 23rd. Get the one-of-a-kind Yelly Tumbler Gate giveaway on Saturday, presented by American Family Insurance, and treat your crew to Brewers family fun on Sunday with special activities for kids, including Brewers player autographs and a chance to run the bases. Get your seats now at Brewers.com.
To be able to breathe properly when you sleep is a profound change. To be able to sleep properly is probably the most important thing you can do for your health, period. End of sentence. In order to sleep properly, you have to be able to breathe properly. If you can't breathe properly, you aren't going to sleep properly. It sounds sort of simple, and like I'm talking to a first grader, but I'm simply saying that most people don't recognize how profoundly impacted their sleep is by their breathing issues until we fix it. And so if we fix somebody's nose, we fix their sinuses, we make sure that their throat is staying open when they're sleeping at night, their body is for the first time ever breathing properly and therefore sleeping properly. And you kind of forget oh, this was such a big deal for me before I got it fixed.
Breathe well with simple solutions at vetnose.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here's John McCure.
All right, Sandy Max is here. So is Debbie Loziga. Bob Brainerd's in for Greg Matzek on sports, and Adam Roberts is producing the show this afternoon. And what stories are we tracking today?
This is the 3 at 3 on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
All right, what's up first?
The Midwest now home to both political conventions in 2024.
That's right. The RNC, of course, coming to Milwaukee July 15th. And now we learned today that the Democratic National Convention is coming to the Windy City. It will be there about a month later in the middle of August. So 90 miles will separate the two political conventions this summer. Joe Biden giving the final approval today, saying that Chicago is a great choice to host the Democratic National Convention, and it will be in Chicago 1 month after the Republican convention is here in Milwaukee.
And I realized I was in Chicago the last time the DNC was there.
In 96.
Yeah, I was working in Chicago radio there, and the other thing I remember was that the convention totally took over Navy Pier at that time.
Yep.
And it was a year after that huge Centennial Ferris wheel was installed, so it really was like this big deal and a hub of activity there.
What is the second story we're tracking?
A major name in the plastic storage world could soon be filing for bankruptcy.
Tupperware announcing that their shares of stock have fallen 50% and they're on the brink of bankruptcy. They say they don't have enough cash to fund operations. This caught me. The company says it's exploring layoffs and reviewing its real estate portfolio. Aren't these the people that come to your living room?
Right.
What's a real estate portfolio? What kind of real estate do they have? And for what? Maybe, I guess, a factory where they have to manufacture this stuff. The real estate portfolio?
And you talk about door to door. I'm going to tell you, I had not thought of Tupperware in years. And I went out for a walk last night in my neighborhood because the weather was so beautiful. And what did I walk by? A white SUV with a Tupperware wrap on it. And I truly said, wow, I haven't thought of Tupperware in years.
Isn't that the extent of their real estate portfolio? That white SUV?
That white?
Yeah, Sandy's
what is the
neighborhood.
real estate portfolio?
That's it. Adam had a great comment in our meeting about this because he said, you think of no matter what it is, the plastic stuff that you put your food in, you call it Tupperware. I mean, that's
like Kleenex.
Like
everybody
Kleenex.
calls it Kleenex.
Yeah, so no matter the brand name, Tupperware will live on.
All right, what's the third thing we're tracking?
Bayshore Mall's open-air green space once again be a live music hub this summer.
That's right. Every Friday from 6 to 9 during the summer at Bayshore, they will have free music. It's live. It's local. Bands you know, like the Eddie Butts Band, the Love Monkeys, others will be there. And it begins on June 9th, so check out Bayshore for live local music.
This is the kind of weather today that puts you in the mood for those outdoor fests.
Yeah, let's get going. It's 3:14 at WTMJ. CBS Chief Washington correspondent Major Garrett with us live up next.
Grandview Homes will buy your home as is today. It doesn't matter what condition it's in. We'll give you a fair cash offer in 48 hours, and you have nothing to lose to try us out. With Grandview, you don't need to fix your home to sell it. Call or visit grandviewhomes.com.
Goodyear, Dunlop, Kelly, Continental, General, you name it, we got it.
Plus, free flat tire repair, free tire rotations, and more.
So when you're due for tire service, schedule it at richlawns.com.
That's Rich Lawns with 2 N's.
Rich Lawns.
Get inside the mind of Mark Tauscher.
I think you're underestimating the power of the gator teeth.
See the world from his perspective.
Responsibility in adulthood. Not sure it's all it's cracked up to be.
On Wisconsin's Morning News, every day at 7:50.
I don't know what could possibly happen that would make you get to the point where you're going to chomp on a nose. I don't know.
Well, that's good analysis, Tauscher. All right, glad we talked that through today.
Mark Tauscher on Wisconsin's Morning News, sponsored by Fellow Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
John Mercure here for Griffin Hub in Milwaukee. Right now, Griffin's offering a spring service special. Griffin will inspect and rotate your tires, check your battery and air filter, complete a multi-point inspection, check your AC or your heat, and change your wiper blades for $129.95. And you know, Griffin is always honored to help those in our community who serve. Show your badge or ID card to get 15% off special savings on your next repairs. Some restrictions apply. Good at all 5 Griffin Service Department locations. And right now, they've got over 140 new vehicles in stock ready to deliver. Great selection of new and pre-owned Dodge Chargers, Challengers, just in time for spring, just in time for summer. And your vehicle itself is worth more right now. Let Griffin Hub buy your vehicle outright. No need to buy anything from them. Ask about their hassle-free appraisal process for your car, truck, or SUV. You can have a check for your vehicle in under an hour. It's that simple. I shop Griffin. I take my vehicles to Griffin for service. Stop by Griffin Hub today.
Bet you didn't know, you and that outside faucet on your house have a lot in common. Just like you, they're sensitive to pressure. In my business, we call those doohickeys a hose bib. Eric Smith here from Austin Plumbing, Heating, and Air. And I know, right? Hose bibs, faucets, who cares? Well, we do. Because getting the wrong one or the right one installed wrong, well, that can be a real squirt in the pants. An embarrassing scarlet letter for the neighbors to see. One that says, "Hello, I don't know nothing about buying bibs or faucets." Friends, that's why Austin Plumbing is here, to take the pressure off you when it comes to those plumbing problems. We can put your watery woes and your sensible solutions in easy-to-understand terminology, although we also respond well to the wave of that hand. The one that says, "Yeah, okay, I trust you guys, just fix it." And we do. Worry-free plumbing. Sounds a lot better than Austin Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Online at teamaustin.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Harwood Place Senior Living.
Learn more about Harwood Place Retirement Living's newly renovated apartments and updated pricing options at our May 10th open house. To RSVP or to schedule a tour, visit harwoodplace.org.
Traffic and weather begins with Debbie Lazaga. Good afternoon, Debbie.
Good afternoon, John. Southbound on 43. Got some backups from just south of Capitol Drive, pretty much starting around Keefe, stretching all the way past an accident that happened right about at North Avenue. It is off on the right shoulder, so at least you are getting past it. Westbound 94, seeing a little bit of a backup through the Stadium interchange. And then southbound 41, watch out for some delays from Silver Spring all the way down to Mayfair Road. Right now from Highway Q to the Zoo, going to be a 21-minute ride. That is an extra 7. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast is going to be warm. Tonight, clear and mild, a low of 58 degrees. Tomorrow, a record day. They're forecasting high of 83 degrees. That would break the record of 82 set in 1977. On Thursday, another record warm day. Forecasting high of 81. That would break a record that's 120 years old. On Friday, breezy still mild, a high of 77. On Saturday, rain likely, a high of 73 degrees. It is warm, warm, warm in Milwaukee. Major Garrett is CBS's chief Washington correspondent. He hosts the Takeout podcast, and his incredible book is called The Big Truth. Major is with us this afternoon. Major, thank you so much for being here.
Hey, John, good afternoon. How are you?
Good. I'm really good. You're on the road a lot because of your job, because of your book. In a recent speech, you asked this question. Can you honestly remember American life politically before Donald Trump? I mean, really remember it. What was the point you were making?
That for good or for ill, former President Trump's role in American political life and all the things that exist around American political life, things that are cultural, things that deal with sports, things that deal with economics, that are touched by politics but don't live in the political space all the time, have all been pervasively influenced by his approach, and I'll be diplomatic, his approach to politics, his approach to institutions, his approach to rhetoric, his approach to power. And I was at an academic conference in Alliance, Ohio, and I just wanted to ask that question to the audience. And I got a lot of people nodding, like it's hard to actually remember what this experience of studying politics was like and trying to understand its flow and rhythms before Donald Trump. And one other point I made is whether you like the former president or hate him, he has been an engine of Democratic turnout. 3 consecutive elections, 2018, 2020, 2022, either set records for turnout or approached brand new records. So people are engaged and involved. It feels divisive. It feels sometimes traumatizing. It feels exhausting. I know that way, that I feel that way sometimes. But all of that has to do with one particular person. And it's not Barack Obama. It's not George W. Bush. It's not anyone I've covered in politics. It's Trump. And that was one of my underlying points, that he is so different and so involved in our national psyche that it's hard to remember when he wasn't there.
Major Garrett with us on WTMJ. Major, I want to ask you about the current president. Joe Biden and the White House have been attacking Republicans recently for proposals that would maybe sunset bills regarding Social Security, meaning they would need to be reintroduced. They wouldn't automatically renew. Also attacking Republicans for floating the idea of raising the age for Social Security benefits. Here's my question. Joe Biden made these exact same proposals in the 70s and 80s and ran for office on them. Is that just politics as usual?
Well, yes and no. So it is true that in the 70s and 80s, lots of people, Democrats and Republicans, particularly moderate to conservative Democrats like Joe Biden, gravitated toward the idea of raising the age eligibility for Social Security, doing things to control quote-unquote entitlement costs. John, when I first came to Washington in 1990, that idea of balancing budgets, reducing federal debt, and limiting spending was very much bipartisan, and it was a hugely important political issue. That has essentially not been true for 15 years. There's now a rough political consensus that you just can't talk about this anymore, and if you do, you will invite rapid and detrimental political blowback. And someone who agrees with that particular approach is the former president, Donald Trump, who we were just talking about. He criticizes any Republicans like Paul Ryan from neighboring northern Wisconsin, who was a big advocate of this. So there's two realities in Washington. One, nobody wants to talk about it, and the other reality is Social Security and Medicare, the programs that all the people who don't want to talk about it that say are so vital and must be protected, are heading toward insolvency. And if changes aren't made, they will be insolvent in the next 10 to 12 calendar years. So at some point, courageous people, and I can't find anyone in either party right now, is going to have to agree to deal with this underlying politics, make some harder decisions, and then sell them to the public. And if you look just across the pond, as they say, to what Emmanuel Macron, the leader of France, is dealing with right now, it's not easy to do.
Major, the White House investigating a major leak of classified information that includes details, some of it unnerving, about how the U.S. spies not only on our enemies but on our friends, leaked information on the war in Ukraine, including tactics. This seems like a pretty big deal.
It is, and the principal investigation is being led by the FBI. The Department of Defense today announced its own separate investigation, but the lead authority is the FBI. This information, based on our reporting at CBS, does not appear to be a hack, meaning computer systems were infiltrated. This appears to be, at least based on what has been said publicly and on background, documents that were physical, meaning pieces of paper or pictures that were in someone's possession, who had access to them legally, and then they were taken out and illegally put in places where they shouldn't be. And what I mean by that is some corners of the web. And they touch a lot of different things. They touch the war in Ukraine. They touch conversations the South Koreans have about U.S. policy. They talk about Israel. So it's not just one specific place, which means it's going to be a little harder to figure out who did this. But because it's physical documents and not a hack, and then you have a list of people who had access, and then you can narrow that down, there is a confidence being expressed, at least today, among those leading the investigation, that the culprit or culprits will be found.
Major, we've only got 1 minute. The news today that Chicago will host the Democratic Convention. Yep. Milwaukee's going to host the Republican Convention. They're 90 miles apart. What does that tell you?
Yep. A couple of things. One, I think Kenosha is going to be a place of importance for this country and for the conversation. And I mean that sincerely. It's roughly right in between Chicago and Milwaukee. I don't need to tell listeners of your program what happened in Kenosha in 2020. The ongoing debate about what that was, what that wasn't. Was it protest? Was it rioting? Was it lawlessness? Was it vigilantism? What is the rule of law? What is our sense of equity, about justice? And that place and that time still resonates there. I believe it's going to be part of a resonant conversation between those two cities, Milwaukee and Chicago. The last time conventions were this close to one another was 1972, and they were really close. They were both in Miami.
Major Garrett is CBS's chief Washington correspondent. Great Kenosha reference, Major. You were on top of it from coast to coast and even with us in the middle. Thank you so much. We appreciate you being with us.
Thanks, John.
Time for the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Stocks mixed today. Texlum sliding a little bit as all eyes now turn to the earnings season, which is on this week's calendar. The S&P 500 was flat today, 4108. The Dow was up 98 points to close at 33,684. The NASDAQ was off 52 points to close at 1231. The Russell 2000 was up. Crude oil up, gold up, and silver up on the day. It's time to calibrate your plan. Get on track with investment and retirement planning. Visit annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button today.
Like it or not, you are a media-consuming machine, chased all day by headlines, texts, emails, on the TV, the computer, the phone, even your smartwatch. News about market volatility and uncertainty could lead to anxiety and planning paralysis. No surprise, Americans report increased stress about their investment and retirement plans. This isn't a time to be frozen in place. Take action. Put Annex Wealth Management on your side. Build a plan that will help cut through the noise. We'll provide comprehensive investment and retirement guidance that includes tax and estate planning. Let Annex do a deep dive on your portfolio. Offer unbiased advice with Wealth Metric and work to create a solid plan for you and your family. Turn down the media roar. Dial up the planning. Head to annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button. It only takes a couple of minutes, in person or online. It's time to take action and know the difference with a fee-only fiduciary. That's Annex Wealth Management. annexwealth.com.
QC Kinetics patient Diane Richardson saw her brother-in-law have surgery for pain in his elbow.
My brother-in-law, after that surgery, had his arm in a sling for almost 6 months, extensive PT, pain medication, a lot of restrictions of what he could not do.
So when Diane's husband, Greg, had a similar problem, she encouraged a different treatment, regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. And the experience was like night and day compared to his brother.
After 6 months, nothing. He hasn't felt any pain, and that has been 2 years since he's had treatment.
Plus, no drugs and no downtime.
He was literally out golfing when he wanted to and doing whatever he wanted to. It was probably 9 months before my brother-in-law got back out on the golf course, and my husband was on the golf course the entire time. And he was so elated. He said, Diane, game changer.
Before you have surgery for that joint pain, get a second opinion. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Before you go looking for an area rug that you'll have to settle for because you think that the one you really want will be out of your budget, come to Design Exchange, where you'll find a formidable selection of Oriental, Persian, and other wool area rug choices at 25 to 70%. Then come to Design Exchange. But you better get here quickly, because the best furniture we take in on consignment doesn't usually last long. It may be vintage, it may have once been out of your range, but now you'll find it's priced right. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value.
Design Exchange. Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 3:30. I'm John Mercure. A major healthcare team-up.
I'm Sandy Max. Barron County comes together to mourn.
And I'm Bob Brainerd, in for Greg Matzik. Mark Murphy of the Packers, the sounds of silence.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. A couple of issues on 43 southbound. One just south of Mequon Road. The right lane is blocked with an issue. I'm thinking it might be another grass fire. And then we got an accident at North Avenue on the right shoulder. All that adding up to about a 15-minute ride from Brown Deer Road into downtown. 41 southbound from Highway Q to the zoo. That's sticking at about 21 minutes. A 7-minute backup. Delays coming in from before Silver Spring all the way to Mayfair Road. Westbound 94 from downtown to the zoo. We're at about a 9-minute ride. That's delays coming in from about 27th Street through the stadium. While you're out navigating the roads as quickly and safely as possible, if you see something we should know about, give us a call on the WTMJ Hall Mazda traffic tip line at 414-238-9329. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, clear and mild, a low of 58 degrees. Tomorrow, sunny, windy, record warmth, a high of 83 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a major healthcare announcement. Froedtert Health and ThedaCare are merging to form one health system.
ThedaCare primarily serves the northeast and central part of our state. It will combine with Froedtert Health in a transition expected to take months. Froedtert President and CEO Kathy Jacobson will stay on as CEO of the combined health system for its first 6 months and then retire. She's promising enhanced access to more services for patients in both systems. Jacobson telling the Milwaukee Business Journal no decision has been made about the location of a headquarters for the merged system, expected to launch late this year. Vince Vitrano, WTMJ News.
After 17 overdose deaths occurred in 3 days at the beginning of April, Chief Health Policy Advisor for Milwaukee County, Dr. Ben Weston, says the medical examiner's office is looking into all the possibilities.
The bad batch is a possibility, one of many possibilities, but certainly when you see a spike
like this, 17 cases in 72 hours. Something has changed in the community.
Weston says in addition to learning more about this specific case, health officials continue to work on harm reduction and prevention as well.
The grieving continues in Barron County after 2 officers were shot and killed in the area over the weekend.
Candlelight vigil is now planned for Chautauqua police officer Emily Breedenbach and Cameron officer Hunter Shield. That vigil will be tomorrow night at 7 at Mosaic Technologies in Cameron. And if you're unable to attend the vigil, community members have started a memorial fund for Officer Breedenbach at Sterling Bank in Chautauqua, with an online fund coming soon. Funeral arrangements for each officer have yet to be announced, but the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reporting those are expected sometime today. Finn Askin, WTMJ News.
The investigation is ramping up in Louisville, Kentucky, as the community mourns the loss of the 5 people from Monday's shooting at Old National Bank. Officials at a news conference today also expressing anger that more isn't done at the state and federal level to strengthen gun laws. Dr. Jason Smith of the University of Louisville Hospital, where the bank shooting victims are being treated, says mass shooting incidents don't even throw off his team anymore because there are so many of them.
The events surrounding this made this obviously much more difficult, but to be honest with you, we barely had to adjust our operating room schedule to be able to do this. That's how frequent we are having to deal with gun violence in our community.
Police say that the 25-year-old suspect purchased the firearm used in the shooting legally last week. Police are also confirming that the firearm used in the shooting was an AR-15 and that suspect was an employee at the bank.
Can the Bats wake back up? Bob Brainerd explains in sports up next.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 3:34. I'm Sandy Max of WTMJ here. Join us in October as we embark on a magical memory-making tour through England with Journeys Connect. This 10-day vacation is called The Beatles and More, an England adventure. Let me show you London and Liverpool, then we'll explore Windsor, Oxford, Stratford-upon-Avon, or Avon, however you like to say it, Stonehenge, and Bath. England is my happy place. It is going to be my pleasure to show you some of my favorite parts of London before we have an immersive experience in the Fab Four's hometown of Liverpool, including private after-hours access at the Beatles Story Museum. We're also going to see England's royal life with a Windsor Castle tour, stroll Oxford University's historic campus, and Shakespeare's birthplace, Stratford-upon-Avon. We're going to get mystical and mythical at Stonehenge and marvel at Bath's ancient architecture. There's much more to tell you about this beautifully British experience, all put together by Journeys Connect. Our travel expert, Steve Bertrand, will ensure all the details are taken care of so we can relax and enjoy the trip of a lifetime together. Let me send you the colorful brochure and the full itinerary. Email me, sandy@WTMJ.com. That's SANDY @WTMJ.com. Sandy@WTMJ.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geis. Garage door broke. Do it right. Don't think twice. Call Geis. Need a new garage door. Do it right. Don't think twice. Call Geis.
A great way to add value and curb appeal to your home is with a new CHI maintenance-free garage door. In fact, a recent study by Remodelers Magazine reports that the average return on investment is an amazing 82%, ranking #1 among all home improvement projects. To see our huge selection of doors, come visit us at our Brookfield location or view our online showroom at GuysDoors.com. We have everything from alley doors to custom wood designer doors and everything in between. Remember, for all your garage door needs, call Geis at 262-784-4250 or visit us online at GuysDoors.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geis. Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Here's Bob Brainerd.
Zach Gallen was brilliant. Wade Miley was very good last night. The Brewer Bats didn't support the very good effort, however, falling 3-0 in Arizona. Skipper Craig Counsell still thrilled, though, with the solid effort from his number 5 man in the Brewers rotation.
Yeah, I mean, Wade's a good pitcher. I mean, this is what Wade does when he's healthy, and our job is to, keep him healthy. And I think we thought if he can be healthy, he's going to provide quality innings. And his first 2 starts, that's exactly what he's done.
Game 2 in the desert is tonight with Corbin Burns looking for his first win of the season. He battles Merrill Kelly on the bump. Catch the Brewers pregame programming at 8 p.m. right here on 620 WTMJ. The Bucks will monitor tonight's play-in game between Miami and Atlanta. Here's why. The winner nabs a series with Boston, while the loser needs to win another game, and that would earn a series matchup with the Bucks. And Mark Murphy got peppered before hopping on the Packers tailgate tour bus this morning. That's just a preview of the peppering he's about to get from fans he visits across the state.
Do you need a deal to get done before the draft, or are you guys okay going into the summer if that's what it takes?
No, again, that's something Brian is working on, and I've been actively involved, and there's really nothing more to say.
It's a show about nothing. And YouTube takes over NFL Sunday Ticket this season. You want it, football fans? $349 if you already subscribe, $449 if you don't, and it's $40 more for each to add Red Zone. YouTube does have an early bird special of $100 off if you order it before June 6th. So if you're not a Packers fan and you are jonesing for the team du jour from the NFL and you want it and you couldn't get it because you didn't have DirecTV, get ready to pony up. $349.
All right. Well, it's available. You just got to pay for it. Yeah, that's a lot of cash.
Just like life.
You got it. That's right, Bob. 3:38 at WTMJ. We're going to get you the very latest on the Louisville situation. Body cam footage from the police officer scheduled to be released this afternoon. The latest up next.
Hey, former radio wake-up guy Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. If that recent cold snap made you think that now is the time to replace those drafty old windows, then now is a good time to call Hometown Windows and Doors. Save heating costs now, cooling dollars down the road with energy-efficient replacement windows and doors from Hometown. Hometown offers the brands you trust like Anderson, Pella, Marvin, Softlight, and more in wood, vinyl, and fiberglass. And all of their products are installed by employee carpenters. Plus, Hometown is the area's only Pella Platinum and Marvin authorized replacement company. Hometown's dedicated consultants can guide you to the best fit and value for your home and your remodeling dollar. Stop in at their newly remodeled showroom in New Berlin and see the Hometown difference for yourself. Or call them for a no-pressure in-home consultation, 414-329-1200, or visit them at hometownwindows.com. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
New information coming out today related to that shooting in the Louisville bank. ABC's Andy Field is with us. He's been tracking the story from the very beginning. Andy, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. The shooter, of course, is identified as a 25-year-old male bank employee. He was live streaming the attack online and was killed in a police shootout. Police, as you mentioned just a short while ago, will release the body camera footage. Apparently, we're supposed to do it within this hour. So we'll be able to see what happened, very much like the Nashville shooting the other day, where the police body cam showed the police rushing in at the person who was shooting in a room, ordering the person to drop the gun, put their arms down and such. That person continued to fire, and the police shot and killed that shooter. Then we will likely see something similar to this happening in this bank here. One of the heroic stories here is of Nicholas Wilt. He's a 26-year-old rookie police officer, we're told, ran to the gunfire and was shot in the head. He's in critical condition and sedated in intensive care right now. He was with his trainer that day, and we're told that the trainer, after his young partner, Nicholas Wilt, was shot, the trainer was able to shoot and kill the person who'd gone into the bank and shot up the place. Not surprising that the shooter, as in many of these mass shootings, used the AR-style weapon. It was purchased locally and legally just 6 days ago. We don't know how long ago that shooter was told he was fired from the bank, but it appears connected with the gun purchase, which again was legal, and his coming in there, having left a note saying he was going to shoot up the bank, and sadly he did. A number more people died in Louisville.
5 people died, and the gunman was killed. Hospital went through, Andy, 170 units of blood, and they're saying if it wasn't for the Red Cross and blood banks, others may have died. All these details coming out just paint the picture of tragedy on one hand, but heroic sacrifice and action on the other.
Yeah, and also the doctor who's in charge of the hospital there, Dr. Jason Smith, said that he and his staff are bone tired of gun violence, that they see it day in and day out. They said that the hospital barely had to adjust their operating room schedule. That's how frequently they're dealing with gun violence. He says he cared for victims of violence and gunshot wounds. He goes, I'm tired, but he's weary. He said there's only so many times you can walk in a room and tell someone they're not coming home tomorrow, and it just breaks your heart.
University of Louisville has just an excellent reputation for their medical abilities and facilities, so I remain optimistic for that officer who's undergoing that brain surgery and hopefully going to recover. You mentioned the police body cam footage that is expected to be released. There were reports that the shooter live streamed this on Instagram, as horrifying as that is. I'm confident now that has been pulled down, but that has to be part of the investigation. Do you think footage like that ever makes air to try to...
I don't know. I didn't see it on Instagram, so I'm assuming that Facebook, that owns Instagram, pulled it down immediately. I don't know. In this day and age, people can record screenshots and such, so it may still exist out there. I have not seen it.
ABC's Andy Field with us with the developments today on that bank shooting in Louisville. Andy, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
It is 3:43 at WTMJ. Cardinal Stritch closes its doors for good coming up here in about a month. The latest on that story, straight ahead.
Tatum works on another three and zeroes in again to Jaylen Brown, and Brown buries the three. And this season will come to a resounding thud to end it. Giannis throws it off the backboard to himself with a two-hand flush. Scoops it up and in. Middleton three-pointer is good. Steps back, fires up the three for the tie. Stutter step, and he will throw it down with a vicious.
We're going all the way this time.
Advent founder Dr. Madan Kandula on Advent's one-stop shop office-based procedures approach to solving breathing triangle problems.
A lot of folks are like, I don't want to go to surgery. Isn't there something else we can do? And at Advent, there is something else we can do. We have a whole host of office-based options where you don't have to go to surgery. We can do it under local anesthesia, get these things taken care of. How does that sound? And don't be surprised when you hear that a lot of people go for those options. When given the choice between surgery and office procedures, almost everybody that we talk to and give them the choice, they choose the office. That's not surprising. That's just understanding your patients and offering them the options that they would choose. So I think at Advent, when you put all that together, we are a one-stop shop for these issues.
Schedule your appointment at adventknows.com today, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
What's the way to build your wealth?
If you want to be sure that you're getting financial planning advice you can trust, work with a fiduciary. A fiduciary should be someone who acts as a steward for you. It means they treat your assets as if they were their own, that they protect them as if they were their own, and that they try to grow them as if they were their own. Now, you can take this for what it's worth, but I'm doing all I can to run a firm you can trust. That's why we're a fee-only, comprehensive financial planning firm that doesn't work for anyone but our clients and focuses only on their best interest. By being a steward, being a fiduciary to help our clients reach their financial goals. I'm Jim Cantrell, and I believe we can show you a wiser way to build your wealth. So go to financialstrategiesinc.com and schedule a no-cost consultation.
Financial strategies, but what's the way to build your wealth?
Visit GetRoto.net for all your sewer and drain cleanup needs.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name, and away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Traffic is sponsored by Roto-Rooter, the sewer and drain experts you've trusted for over 85 years. How are we doing out there, Deb?
Well, that earlier issue we had on southbound 43 south of Mequon Road has been cleared, but we do still have this accident right around North Avenue off on the right shoulder. So be careful with that. Right now, Brown Deer Road to downtown, you are looking at about a 13-minute ride, so just a couple of extra minutes. Southbound 41, still kind of heavy. It's 20 minutes to get from Highway Q all the way to the zoo. Delays kicking in just south of Silver Spring, all the way down past Mayfair Road. And then westbound on 94, we've got about a 10-minute ride there from downtown to the zoo. Most of that happening between 20th Street and Hawley Road. That's where those delays are. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast for tonight, clear and mild, a low of 58 degrees. Tomorrow, record warmth. It's going to be 83 degrees. On Thursday, another record day. It's going to be 81. On Friday, breezy, mild, a high of 77. On Saturday, a little bit of rain late in the day, a high of 73 degrees. Saying they face a no-win situation, Cardinal Stritch University has announced that they're closing. And they're closing like now. At the end of the semester, they'll go another month. They will have a graduation ceremony. Then they say they will try to work with students who still need to transfer credits or figure out what to do. But when this news broke yesterday, it was shocking to a lot of people because they're an institution in our community, and they're going to close, like now. Our friend Sherry Tussler is a graduate, and she is with us live in the studio. Sherry, thank you so much for being here with us.
Glad to be here.
What was your reaction when your university announced that they're done?
Shocked and saddened, really saddened.
Can you tell us about Cardinal Stritch and what it's meant to your life journey? Take us inside your time at Cardinal Stritch.
Sure. I had gone through the university system and wasn't terribly successful at it and kept working lots of jobs in order to keep my head afloat. And I was up for a promotion at work, and they said, you don't have a degree, so you can't get promoted. And I said, okay, I'll start in the fall. And they said, no, you'll start at Stritch on Tuesday.
Wow.
So I started at Stritch on Tuesday, and I went there for 13 months, and I'm asked 56 credits to graduate, which I felt like they'd shoved me through a knothole by the end of it. But still, I did not graduate. I waited 8 more years to write my paper.
Wow.
You did that intense program, and then
I just couldn't do it anymore.
But you eventually did?
I did, because they called me and said, if you don't finish your degree, it's going to expire. And I was pregnant. And so I wrote the equivalent of a master's thesis while pregnant and graduated. Yay!
So now you're the leader of the Hunger Task Force, such a renowned national reputation you have for leading this incredible advocacy organization. Were there lessons you learned at Stritch or work ethic things or things you took away from there that have led to your eventual success here in our community?
My degree was in management. And that what they did was they taught us that we could manage people in IT. We could do communications. We could just manage almost any aspect of a workplace. And they pushed us through a lot of business problems, and we figured things out. We had to work together as teams. I would say it was a really great education for an adult like me to get.
I'm just stunned. And I sit here now, I look at you, and you went to school there. And we all know it as the place in Fox Point, the place you can see the athletic fields from the interstate. But to talk to somebody who went there and it made a difference in their lives, you must have a network of people that feel the same way you do, right? That this is a place that bettered your life, bettered our community because of what it did for you and for others.
Well, the cooler thing is 2 years ago, they gave me an honorary doctorate. And so I got to speak at the commencement ceremony just 2 years ago.
Wow.
And what I watched was the undergraduate class walk across the podium, and there were so many people of color. There were so many women. I mean, it was just like an international organization, and I was really touched by the fact that they had reached to the point of serving so many different people, and it wasn't the traditional college experience. And a lot of those students are international students who are going to really have some hard time ahead because they were there on scholarship, and they were leaving places that they won't get educated at.
So I want to focus on a couple of those numbers that illustrate what you just said. Very diverse population. A quarter of the students there are black or Hispanic. A third of undergrads receive Pell Grants, which are awarded to those with the most financial need. International students, just undergrad students and athletes. it really talks, doesn't it, to what was one of the strengths of Cardinal Stritch, reaching out communities of people that otherwise would maybe not have an opportunity?
Yeah, the Christian values that they comprise, and they talk to you about them all the time, were really amazing, and they're just obviously there, shown by the type of students that they recruited, the way that they walked people through. And again, so many people of color, even here in Milwaukee, that have graduated. If you look at Facebook, you know, and you see somebody like James Causey got his MBA there, and it's like he went there because he felt comfortable.
And I have to imagine that your phone started buzzing with fellow alumni that you're still connected to. What, has everybody been equally stunned? Have there been other reactions?
Yeah, it's just people are like going, wow, how could we have helped? What could we have done to make a difference? And so for some of us, it's not just sadness, but a level of guilt, like, what should I have done different or better to support the institution that gave me so much opportunity?
What do you think happened the last few years? I mean, the numbers are a third of their enrollment went away and didn't come back. And as other schools brought their enrollment back, even schools of similar size like Carroll and others, that did not happen. That couldn't happen at Cardinal Stritch.
That's really hard for me to say, because when I went there, they didn't even have dorms. Okay, it was all commuter. But there are dorms there now, and there was student life there, and it was important. And I wish, I guess, that they had reached out to all of the alumni and told us. I think that somehow or other we might have been able to put something together to help them financially or to recruit additional students. It's such a well-renowned institution. I'm just disappointed.
You know, you raise such an interesting point, because Mary Kellner from the Kellner family is also a graduate, and her family just a couple of years ago gave $2.5 million because they needed it, and she believes in the school. And this time, they kind of quietly just decided, the sisters did, and then the Board of Regents, to close the doors without really saying anything to anybody. Did you have any inkling that they were in this sort of trouble?
No. Mary Kellner was at my graduation ceremony. She hooded me. She's a lovely person, and I was thankful to her gift, or for her gift at the time, but nobody had any idea.
Not only does this affect the students who are in attendance now, but it also affects the employees there.
Oh, yeah. My daughter called me because her best friend's mom is a professor there. And that was how I first heard.
Interesting.
Yeah, lots of people are losing their jobs as well, you know, and some of those folk have been there for a really, really long time.
And if all the universities are facing these kinds of challenges post-pandemic, do those professors have a place to go to teach?
Right. And those small university environments, especially liberal arts folk, it's such a basic education. It's so important. And not everybody fits in at such a giant university like Madison. Some students thrive in small settings, and so they have a role and they're important.
Yeah, they do. It's just a sad day. I guess sad is the word that I keep coming back to. I had a buddy who went there and played baseball. We heard from people in the last couple of days who play sports there. One that came there for the music program, who now can't get into another program without auditioning a year from now. It's just so sudden and so sad for our community.
Yeah, the terrible disruption I think that the students that are there now are going to experience. I mean, as an alum, I can say I'm sad, but I still have my transcript. I still know I graduated. I've got my certificates. It's all there. What happens to that young person? And, you know, both of my daughters are recent college graduates, and I know what a struggle it is. I can't imagine how those students are feeling right now.
What's the one memory you'll take away from your time at Cardinal Stritch?
It's the hardest damn thing I ever did.
But you did it.
I did my laundry, and I slept, and I went to Cardinal Stritch.
Sherry Tussler is the executive director of the Hunger Task Force. Thank you so much for spending some time with us, Sherry. We do appreciate it.
You bet.
It is 3:55 at WTMJ. Business headlines up next. First, a great way to brighten up your Tuesday. Enjoy a free dinner tonight at the historic Fox & Hounds restaurant. WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love the Fox & Hounds. It's a one-of-a-kind dining destination. Your second dinner is always free. I just made a reservation last night, actually. In a couple of days, we're going out to the Fox & Hounds, where I will order my favorite steak, maybe seafood. My wife will order a dinner, and guess what? One of the dinners is free. Same thing for ice cream, drinks, and desserts, and I always get the dessert. Buy one, get one free. Choose from 100 wines, 20 fine bourbons, a great beer list to complement your dinner. The Fox & Hounds, right in the heart of the Kettle Moraine Forest. The setting is breathtaking. It's perfect to celebrate a birthday, anniversary, retirement, or a quiet dinner with your sweetie. Wherever you live, it's worth the beautiful drive to the Fox and Hounds for your free dinner tonight. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill. Locally family-owned. How about Wednesdays? Tomorrow night, buy one prime rib dinner, get one free. It's Fox and Hounds, the famous Fox and Hounds restaurant. Reserve your table today and enjoy your free dinner. Here's Margaret Notchek at the Milwaukee Business Journal.
Wauwatosa-based Froedtert Health and Neenah-based Theta Care have merged in a new Wisconsin healthcare consolidation. Froedtert's CEO Kathy Jacobson will retire 6 months after the transaction closes. The proposed 11-story hotel near Brady Street on Milwaukee's east side continues its progress after receiving approvals from the City of Milwaukee for zoning changes. It now moves to the Milwaukee Common Council. Cardinal Stritch University will close at the end of the academic year. The news was shared Monday evening. All educational services, activities, and programs will cease May 22nd. I'm Margaret Notchek with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on News Radio WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Now these tend to fly off the shelves. But don't worry, because our connection supplies us with a lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Vince Vitrano here for Johnson & Sons Paving. Driveway, walkway, parking lot, repairs or complete repaving. This is the quality, family-owned local company you can trust. Johnson & Sons does everything in-house, from designing your project to mixing their own asphalt. They're so proud of the work they do, they put their family name on the company. You'll find plenty of Johnsons. You won't find subcontractors. When you hire Johnson & Sons, you get them every step of the way. It's one-stop shop for projects of any size. JohnsonandSonsPaving.com.
Is inflation busting or benefiting your financial plan? Hi, it's Dan Needles. Join me Thursday, April 27th at the Milwaukee Marriott West for a panel discussion with Jeff Kowal and the Kowal Investment Group advisors as we examine how today's inflation rate could bust or benefit your retirement plan, plus the 3 proactive steps you need to take. This is a free event, but be sure to register early as seats are limited. Visit thekowalway.com to reserve your spot today. I hope to see you there.
Kowal Investment Group is a registered investment advisor.
You can't beat Bernhardt.
Now open in New Berlin. The Pontoon and Deck Boat Event of the Year, April 20th through 23rd at Centerpoint Pewaukee, and you won't believe the deals. Centerpoint Pewaukee, Highway 16 and Capitol Drive. Be there.
Keeping you informed, keeping you safe, keeping you engaged and entertained. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 4 o'clock. I'm John Mercure. Your top story, Froedtert Health is getting a new partner.
I'm Sandy Max. Another step towards a Brady Street hotel.
And I'm Bob Brainerd, in for Greg Matza. Craig Council about to set a record in Milwaukee.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Southbound on 43, this accident at North Avenue off on the right shoulder still causing some headaches. And then we've also got a broken down vehicle on 4394 southbound right at the end of the ramp from 94 eastbound. That right lane is blocked with this thing, so be careful. Westbound on 94 going to be heavy from the Marquette all the way through the stadium. Once you get past Mitchell Boulevard towards Holly Road, should open right up. Southbound on 41 slowing down Silver Spring, pretty much solid all the way to Mayfair Road. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Traffic is sponsored by Centerpoint. Don't miss the pontoon and deck boat sales event of the year. Tonight, clear and mild, a low of 58 degrees. Tomorrow, windy, record warmth, a high of 83 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a major healthcare announcement. Froedtert Health and Theta Care are merging to form one health system.
ThedaCare primarily serves the northeast and central part of our state. It will combine with Froedtert Health in a transition expected to take months. Froedtert President and CEO Kathy Jacobson will stay on as CEO of the combined health system for its first 6 months and then retire. She's promising enhanced access to more services for patients in both systems. Jacobson telling the Milwaukee Business Journal no decision has been made about the location of a headquarters for the merged system, expected to launch late this year. Vince Vitrano, WTMJ News.
A large hotel on Milwaukee's east side is one step closer to reality. The 11-story building would go up near Farwell and Brady, according to plans approved by a Common Council committee today. One resident testified before the committee, upset with the size of the project.
Developers want to make the most money they possibly can from building the most lavish project on site they can. It's not serving the neighborhood need.
The full council will consider the hotel project next week.
The southern half of Wisconsin remains in the very high danger zone for wildfires.
Fire prevention specialist Catherine Cooley of the Wisconsin DNR says we'll be in that zone for a little while because the state is in peak wildfire season.
The peak of Wisconsin's fire season is right after that snow cover disappears and then prior to vegetation greening up. So this is the peak.
Cooley says to avoid burning things like leaves, pine needles, and other debris found in your yard.
1/3 of our wildfires in Wisconsin are caused by people debris burning.
Been asking WTMJ News.
Milwaukee police are investigating after a body was found near Water Street floating in the water this morning. The Milwaukee Police Department saying it is an unidentified male, that they're investigating the cause of his death. Right now they say that it does not appear to be suspicious.
Another shooting today, this time after a funeral in Washington, D.C.
It was a funeral for another Washington, D.C. shooting victim where the family had asked police to be outside for protection. That did not stop another shooter from killing a man and wounding 3 others as they left the church service.
I mean, how low can you be of a human being to target other people at a funeral?
D.C. Police Chief Robert Conti asking the community to help find the shooter who fled. Andy Field, ABC News, Washington.
The Green Bay Packers tailgate tour is underway. Over the next few days, the front office and some members of the team will head from Green Bay to western and northern Wisconsin to meet fans. Packers president Mark Murphy says he expects to hear questions about Aaron Rodgers.
I do anticipate quite a few questions, and I anticipate saying that there is no update. It is interesting that 15 years ago we were in a similar situation. Yeah.
Murphy told reporters he's in on the trade talks but couldn't share any details about what the Packers and Jets are discussing.
Can Burns get the Brewers back on track? Bob answers that in sports up next.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 4:04.
News is sponsored by Smart Spaces. Visit smartspaceswi.com.
The workplace has changed a lot thanks to technology, and more recently, the shift to a flexible or remote schedule. Your business must adapt to maintain a great culture, attracting quality candidates and keeping them. You need Smart Spaces. The team of interior integrators at Smart Spaces brings creativity and expertise, assessing the walls, ceiling, lighting, flooring, furniture, and audiovisual systems to create places that matter in the modern world, fully functional for those in the building and for others to interact remotely. Get started today at smartspaceswi.com.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here. A couple years ago, my knee was acting up. As an athlete, I've played through pain before, but it was getting to the point where I couldn't compete in the sports I loved. I decided to check out Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. It's the best decision I've made. I felt no pressure to have surgery. That was important to me. We had choices. I ultimately did choose to have a procedure. I was in and out in just hours and back in action shortly after. I recommend meeting their doctors. Visit orthowisconsin.com today.
Grandview buys homes. Hi, I'm Tom Delich here to tell you Grandview will buy your home in any condition. Wait a minute, you ask. What about water damage? Yes, Grandview will buy your home. Mold in the attic? Yes, we'll buy your home. Cracks in the foundation? Yes, Grandview will buy your home also. The fact is, we buy homes in any condition. Maybe your home hasn't been updated in 20 or 30 years. No problem. Grandview will buy your home. Or maybe your belongings are stacked up to the ceiling and you just need to move on. Grandview will buy your home too. Not only do we buy homes in any condition, you don't have to lift a finger to sell your home. We'll give you a fair cash offer in 48 hours and close on the day you choose. Then only take the belongings you want and leave the stress and the mess to us. The folks at Grandview understand your situation and will always treat you with dignity and respect. So sell your home as is today. Call the name you know and the name you trust. GrandviewHomes.com.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Here's Bob Brainerd.
When Craig Counsell turns in the lineup card in Arizona tonight, he will become the all-time leader in games managed by a Milwaukee Brewers skipper. Counsell will pass Phil Garner, managing game number 1,181. Tonight, Counsell hoping to get Corbin Burnes out of his funk, going 0-2 to start his campaign.
Corbin's just a little off, and I think it's very small, and it's because there's some really good pitches in there, and then there's been some mistakes. He's not far off. It's a little thing, and we'll get it straightened out, and we'll see Corbin Burnes.
Burnes will face the Diamondbacks' Merrill Kelly. Pregame coverage is slated for 8 p.m. here on 620 WTMJ. Lakers in Minnesota tonight, along with Miami and Atlanta. Those are the NBA play-in games, with the Bucks keeping tabs on those losses between the Heat and the Hawks. That could be the first-round opponent on Sunday in Milwaukee. We shall see. Mike Budenholzer using this week off to get the squad focused on a long run in the postseason.
We want to be our best night in and night out, and to have the best records, and it is something that matters and is important. But I think being our best each day and every night is what we talk about the most.
And here's a take on the Aaron Rodgers drama. David Bakhtiari, chatting on Barstool Sports today, truly believes that one option could be to refuse to trade Rodgers to the Jets if they don't meet the Packers' trade demands.
I look at all these ways you can deal it. I don't think it'd get that contentious. I do think they'll probably come to an agreement. He'll get traded. They'll get what they want, and then time will probably say whether it was who won what. But I'm saying I do think that could be a third option if things got so bad. You're right. I've changed my mind. No, we want this, and that's it, because we know we're going to get them. Like, okay, well then somewhere else.
So what Bakhtiari is proposing, that if it all continues to break down,
right,
that you keep Aaron Rodgers and you don't play him. Remember I brought this up the
other
other day?
Yeah, that's right. Backup.
But Bakhtiari thinks that this could happen, that they would just eat the contract and say, we're going to have Jordan Love at quarterback. If we don't put a record together that is sufficient, we're going to get another draft pick. Rodgers retires. We're okay. We're just not going to give in on your demands unless we get what we want.
That's crazy.
It is a little.
But it's fun. He could be QB2 up in Green Bay.
Every day there's a different take. Even Mark Murphy not saying anything, which we just heard. That's an interesting take.
Yeah. A couple other nuggets up next. It's Rogers Watch 23 after the break on WTMJ.
This report sponsored by Pella of Wisconsin. Discover Pella now, pay later at PellaWI.com.
Hello, baseball fans. Jeff Levering here, calling the action with the amazing team at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. And what a roster we have. Up to bat is Pella's award-winning Easy Slide innovation. Wow, what a smooth glide. Pella's sliding windows are incredibly easy to maneuver, wider than they are tall. They glide horizontally, letting in lots of natural light and unobstructed views. And that roll? It's a double play. Pella's premium roll screens operate like magic. Close the window and the screen rolls away, completely out of sight. Now that is slick. On deck is Pella's Reserve Series patio door. Just look at that slide. It's a perfect fit. Pella Reserve patio doors offer virtually unlimited sizes and custom colors, and they're backed up with the best lifetime warranty in the industry. Pella sure is one heck of a 5-tool player, and you can bring any number of their all-star innovations home for 0% for 48 months when you order by April 30th. Visit PellaWI.com for this amazing deal.
Certain restrictions apply.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. There's a sense of pride, community, and work ethic that's second to none. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. We've been here and will continue to be here for as long as you need us. Gruber Law Offices, one call, that's all.
This is ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta for St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Are you looking for the perfect restaurant for your next night out? Make Aria, the acclaimed restaurant inside St. Kate, your next dinner destination. Specializing in artisanal American cuisine, Aria features carefully prepared seasonal entrees along with a robust selection of craft cocktails, wine, and local beer. New to Aria's menu is a family-style chicken dinner available every Sunday featuring the restaurant's famous Bro-Stish chicken served with sides like mashed potatoes, goat cheese biscuits, and more. Learn more and make reservations at Aria at stkatearts.com.
You want to breathe better, but you don't want surgery.
Advent's office-based procedures can eliminate the need for surgery, and thousands of patients can attest they can bring life-changing relief.
When you're due for tire service, visit richlands.com for the location nearest you.
We'll give you a free flat tire repair on every tire we install. No questions asked. I'm Brett Matchke with Richlands. You're due for service.
Richlands. This just in. Aaron Rodgers bought a tube of toothpaste.
At this point, it's my intention to play for the Jets.
Anything that falls short of this Jets team not winning the division, oh boy, watch out.
This is Rodgers Watch 2023 on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
When it comes to me, they don't know.
All right, let's get to it. Get you the latest Aaron Rodgers information. Bob's been talking about this a little bit this afternoon. A couple interesting nuggets. What stands out today? If someone were to ask you, Aaron Rodgers, what's the update today? Bob Brainerd, what would you tell him? What's the most interesting?
Nothing. No, I mean, this is George Costanza. It's a show about nothing. And it really is. And I think, though, that Mark Murphy, and we've heard a couple clips from him before he boarded the bus on this Tundra Title Town tour that goes throughout the state of Wisconsin.
Which has everybody up there very nervous that he's going to talk.
But I mean, he was given the podium before stepping on said bus.
Yeah.
And really just was muted, and it was dumbed down, and he just kind of had that nervous chuckle.
So far.
And not say anything. So I think because he's the president, because there isn't an owner in Green Bay, I think they all got together and said, look, we've all had our say, right? Brian Gutekunst had his say. Mark Murphy had his say.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers has had his say. We've heard from every camp so far, and really there's nothing more to say. So I think the Packers collectively said, we're in the driver's seat here, and let's not say anything that's going to maybe turn things around. Let's let the Jets sweat this out now and let them do all the talking. Let's let their GM say, he's on his way. He's coming. Okay. Right. All right. And then maybe have to eat crow if it doesn't come together.
You know there's the chance that Mark Murphy walks into Sheboygan Falls, Ben Franklin Elementary School, local newspaper reporters there, and he says something like, well, Plan B comes together and we get rid of him a week from Tuesday like we're thinking we're going to. He's going to step in it.
Yeah.
He should not have gotten on the bus.
It's coming. Some of the guys that got on the bus with him, Aaron Jones was one of the players.
Oh, that's fun.
And so these guys obviously had nothing to say. But what I did hear them say was that they are ready to play for Jordan Love. They are ready to give 100% to the next Packers quarterback.
They have to say that, though, don't they, Bob?
They do, but I think in their hearts they are really ready to move on from Aaron Rodgers. You don't hear any players, whether it's today or when this started to become a reality. I haven't heard any Packer players saying, what are we going to do without number 12 in the huddle? I think these guys are ready to legitimately turn the page and play for number 10.
I hope so.
I'm a little concerned. Like, he has been so quiet, Aaron Rodgers, right now. Like, is he just pumping iron and he's going to come showing up to the Jets, and he's going to have like the best season ever because he finally focused and.
But we don't have to play them, so I really don't care what he does.
No, you don't.
And they're in the toughest division in football. He's going to get destroyed.
Yeah,
Bills, and in the worst media market.
Bills, Dolphins are in there. New England. It's going to be rough sailing no matter who they surround him with. You guys remember Craig Carton, who's on WFAN?
Yeah.
Craig's take today was that he thinks Aaron Rodgers, or someone told him, a source told him that Aaron Rodgers won't come to the Jets no matter if the trade goes down this week or not. He won't come to the Jets until May anyway. So he is on the inside telling New York, cool your Jets, no pun intended, and hold out because I'm not going to be here anyway. So that was according to Craig Carton, who's in New York, who's in the thick of things here.
Interesting perspective. Thank you, Bob. All right, we're going to switch gears up next. Cardinal Stritch closing down about a month from now, abruptly saying they're shutting down their doors, closing it off. Sherry Tussler from Hunger Task Force was here. She is a graduate. Open up the phone lines and the text lines. We'd love to get a phone call or two. Are you a graduate of Cardinal Stritch? Tell us about the legacy Cardinal Stritch helped you create. Cardinal Stritch, the role they played in your life. 855-616-1620. That's the talk and text line. 855-616-1620. The importance of Cardinal Stritch in your life. Your phone calls, your texts after the break. Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. The current economic climate may look grim, but how menacing is it to your retirement plan? Join us Wednesday, April 19th at 11 a.m. for Inflation, Rate Hikes, and Bears Oh My, a special webinar with Dave Spano of Annex Wealth Management. We'll take a historical look and share how inflation, rate hikes, and volatile markets have an impact on retirement planning and what you can do. Inflation and Rate Hikes and Bears Oh My, the webinar, Wednesday, April 19th at 11 a.m. Complete details and registration at annexwealth.com/events.
If you have joint pain and they're telling you surgery is your best option, you got to stop what you're doing and call QC Kinetics. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. Professionals at QC Kinetics use the latest, most advanced regenerative treatments to bring lasting pain relief the natural way. Regenerative medicine harnesses your own body's healing agents to restore and repair damaged tissue in your knees, your hips, shoulder, and back. Precision treatments. They're all done in office, no drugs, and no downtime. QC Kinetics has hundreds of clinics all over America and thousands of satisfied patients. If your joints are aching from arthritis or injury, look beyond steroids and surgery. Discover the amazing possibilities with regenerative medicine, especially this time of year. We all want to be living life to the fullest, doing the stuff that we love the most. And if you can get lasting relief and avoid going under the knife, well, it makes sense to check it out, right? Call QC Kinetics now. It's a free consultation, no obligations. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Hey, don't wait. 414-285-3474.
From the beginning, they were applauded. The music that sold over 100 million records. Chicago, May 9th, Riverside Theater. The music of Chicago. May 9th, Riverside Theater. On sale now at Riverside Theater box office or papstheatergroup.com. Chicago.
Life's more rewarding at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. We're the lawn and garden experts, offering unbeatable prices on supplies to build out your dream yard. Like 36-pound bags of estate weed and feed, just $32.99. Rewards members get a free $10 Blaine's gift card with $80 spent on estate fertilizer. Select 20-pound bags of estate grass seed, $10 off. Plus, get a free $10 Blaine's gift card when you buy select bags of Hill's Science Diet dog or cat food. Shop our new Blaine's Farm and Fleet store in Grafton, located at 1771 Wisconsin Avenue.
Traffic and weather begins with Debbie Lazaga. Hey there, Deb.
Hey there, John. Yeah, we're still dealing with a few issues out on the road, especially along 43 southbound. Got a new accident at Good Hope Road off on the left shoulder. Then we've still got the one at North Avenue still being worked on. And then we've got this broken down vehicle that's blocking the right lane on the ramp from 94 eastbound to 4394 southbound. It's basically wreaking havoc all the way back to Capitol Drive, so watch out for those big delays. On the westbound side of 94, hitting the brakes from about 25th Street through the stadium. Still seeing those backups on southbound 41 from Silver Spring all the way down to Mayfair Road. Still at about a 20-minute ride to get from Highway Q to the Zoo Interchange. Hey, be your eyes on the roads. Report accidents, slowdowns, and road conditions to the WTMJ Hall Mazda traffic tip line at 414-238-9329. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, clear, mild, a low of 58 degrees. Tomorrow, sunny, windy, record warmth. A high of 83 tomorrow. The old record, 82 degrees, was set in 1977. On Thursday, sunny, breezy, record warmth again. Forecasting 81 degrees. The world record is 79, set 120 years ago. On Friday, breezy, still mild, a high of 77. On Saturday, rain, storms likely late, a high of 73 degrees. Right now in Milwaukee, it is 78 degrees. Cardinal Stritch announcing they are abruptly shutting it down. They are going to be done. We want you to weigh in. Are you a graduate of Cardinal Stritch? Did you go to Cardinal Stritch? Did someone you love attend school there? What did it mean for you? The role of Cardinal Stritch in your life. The talk and text line is 855-616-1620, 855-616-1620. The role that Cardinal Stritch played in your life. We'd love to take some phone calls, work in some texts.
Because if you think about, even if you didn't go to Cardinal Stritch, what if you found out that your own university was abruptly shutting down? That's a chapter of your life that
Oh, yeah.
That is a formative part of your life. There's emotional
Sad.
connections there. We did get a text from Patrick in Appleton on the talk and text line, 855-616-1620. Patrick wrote, when I was a kid, my dad went back to school to finish his bachelor's degree, and he chose Cardinal Stritch because they could accommodate his work and home schedule while giving him the education he deserved. He was still home with us and was able to keep working full-time while finishing his degree. And that degree helped him advance his career, which benefited our whole family. Cardinal Stritch did that for us. Thanks.
What's your story? 855-616-1620, Cardinal Stritch and you. What's your story? When people ask you to talk about Cardinal Stritch, what do you tell them made it special? 855-616-1620. Makes me sad even to just say that in the past tense. Weigh in, would you? Let's go to Matt, who's in Greendale. Matt, good afternoon. You're on WTMJ.
Yeah, good afternoon. So I went to Stritch for my undergraduate. I got a bachelor's degree in 2012. They gave me a very generous scholarship, and I got a lot of individualized attention from the psychology faculty there. And so that helped me now. 10 years later, I'm a forensic psychologist in a very thriving private practice, so it set me up well for that. And it's also where I met my wife. So I really can't say anything but good things about what Cardinal Stritch did for my life.
Tell me about your reaction when you got the news that they were going to be shutting down in pretty short order.
I would say I was sad, not entirely surprised. I've stayed kind of up to beat with happenings at the university, and I've known that just in recent years, things financially haven't been going the best. So it wasn't a complete surprise, though still, very sad nevertheless.
How's it changed from 10 years ago when you were there?
I mean, my understanding is it's just been harder for them to keep enrollment numbers up, and it's been harder for them to keep and retain qualified faculty. And so you just put those things together, and it just makes it hard to sustain and to compete with some of the bigger schools. And so, but I know the people that have been going there recently, I mean, just really kind of like I said, the individualized attention, the small class sizes you get in a school like that. For someone like me who would have gotten in way too much trouble in a big state school, I mean, it really was the perfect fit. So my hope is that, the people have still gone there recently have still benefited from those kinds of aspects of it.
Hey, Matt, thank you very much for the phone call. We appreciate it. Katie's in Germantown. Katie, good afternoon. You're on WTMJ.
Hi there.
Hey, Katie, tell us about your Cardinal Stritch experience.
So I actually went to UW-Madison first and got my undergrad, and then moved back to the Milwaukee area, and I got my teaching certification through Stritch. So, and I just told your guys that I'll be finishing my 21st year teaching this year. So they were the ones that helped me get my degree. So, yep.
That's fantastic. So good memories when you think back. How sad are you today that the school that helped you so much is going away?
Well, going to a big school like Madison and then going to a small school like Stritch, I mean, you had two different extremes there. Stritch was just nice because it was small and you're very good relationships with your professors, and everything's right here in the area. It was a great experience.
Katie, thank you very much for the phone call. What's your story? 855-616-1620 is the talk and text line.
Another text from the talk and text line from 262. I went back to school as an adult during COVID. I have kids and I work full time. My program was through an online university, and I believe that is the demise of these others over because they target adults.
All right, let's take another phone call. Will's in Wauwatosa. Will, good afternoon. You're on WTMJ.
Hey, how are you doing this afternoon?
Hey, good. How about you? Tell us your Titus Stritch.
Good. Yes, I was an adjunct instructor between 96 and 2002 or so. It was thriving at the time, and I think the reason why is a lot of companies were getting tax incentives to pay for college tuition. So many of the students, adults, were basically on a dime of their companies, and a lot of companies have eliminated that tuition reimbursement full for students. And I believe, or I'm thinking that's why there were, besides the pandemic, but where there was significant decline, especially in adult education night program.
Hey, Will, thank you very much for the phone call. All right, so we're going to get some perspective, the financial point of all this, the real estate perspective on all of this. Mark Cass, the editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal, takes us inside that part of the story coming up here at 5:15 on WTMJ. Time for the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update on this Tuesday. Kind of a mixed bag. Not a lot of movement. Stocks mixed. Tech slumps did fall a little bit. The S&P 500 was flat on the day at 4108. The Dow was up 98 points to close at 33,684. The Nasdaq was down 52 points to close at 1231. The Russell 2000 up on the day. Crude oil back over $80 a barrel to 81.47. Gold up, silver up. The 10-year Treasury bond up as well. Investment, retirement, tax and estate planning is a fee-only fiduciary. This is not the time to set it and forget it. Get help now. Visit AnnexWealth.com. Click the Get Started button today. That's Annex Wealth Management.
Everyone associates the coming of spring with the aroma of flowers. But even before the first hyacinth or crocus emerges, the first hint of spring smells like worms. Eric Smith here from Austin Plumbing, Heating, and Air. And maybe it's just the farmer in me, but I swear, if you put your ear to the muddy ground after the snow has melted, you can smell and hear the worms at work, moving the earth around, signaling something is different, something new, yet ageless. Mother Nature cycles brings hope. Like the first day you see those little nubs on the trees. Everything whispers, it's gonna be all right. I'm not here to sell you anything today. No trying to convince you to call us, buy from us, nothing like that. I just wanted to remind you that with all that's going on in the world, there's an order to things. What appeared to be dead returns to life. Spring is doing her thing. Happy spring from Team Austin. Online at teamaustin.com.
Wait, aren't these all charitable donations?
At Magda's Tax Prep, every person
I'd rather
counts.
not have to file for an extension.
She needs new auditors to maximize returns on her family
On
time.
itemized deductions. Hey, can someone help with these 1099s?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Here's a great way to brighten up your Monday and Tuesday. Enjoy a free dinner at the historic Fox and Hounds restaurant. WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love the Fox and Hounds. It's one of a kind. It's a dining destination second to none because your second dinner is always free. Order your favorite steak, seafood, pasta, or fresh salad, grilled salmon, anything on the menu. Your second dinner is free, F-R-E-E free. Same for ice cream drinks and those incredible desserts. Choose from over 100 wines, 20 fine bourbons, great beers to complement your dinner. The Fox and Hounds in the heart of the Kettle Moraine Forest. Setting is breathtaking. It's perfect to celebrate a birthday, anniversary, retirement, or a quiet dinner with your sweetie. Wherever you live, it's worth the beautiful drive to the Fox and Hounds for your free dinner tonight. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill, locally, family-owned. Wednesday night, buy one prime rib dinner, get one free. Just Google it, Fox and Hounds Restaurant. Reserve and enjoy your free dinner. It's one of my very favorite places, the famous Fox and Hounds.
The pontoon and deck boat event of the year, April 20th through 23rd at Centerpoint Pewaukee, and you won't believe the deals. Centerpoint Pewaukee, Highway 16 and Capitol Drive. Be there.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 4:30. I'm John Mercure, teaming up in healthcare.
I'm Sandy Max. Watch out for wildfires.
And I'm Bob Brainerd, in for Greg Matzik. The Brewers look for a bounce back against the D-backs.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. 2 accidents on 43 still wreaking havoc. We've got one at Good Hope Road on the left shoulder and another one at North Avenue off on the right. So that's going to be slowing things down. We got slowdowns basically from Capitol Drive down past that North Avenue accident all the way into the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. Westbound 94 hitting the brakes from 25th Street through the stadium. The eastbound side's just a little bit tight through the stadium interchange. And northbound 41 slowing down from Wisconsin Avenue all the way up past Swan Boulevard, with the southbound side riding those brakes from before Silver Spring all the way to Mayfair Road. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Traffic sponsored by Centerpoint. Don't miss the pontoon and deck boat sales event of the year. Tonight, clear and mild, a low of 58 degrees. Tomorrow, windy, record warmth, a high of 83 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a major healthcare announcement. Froedtert Health and ThedaCare merging to form one health system.
ThedaCare primarily serves the northeast and central part of our state. It will combine with Froedtert Health in a transition expected to take months. Froedtert President and CEO Kathy Jacobson will stay on as CEO of the combined health system for its first 6 months and then retire. She's promising enhanced access to more services for patients in both systems. Jacobson telling the Milwaukee Business Journal no decision has been made about the location of a headquarters for the merged system, expected to launch late this year. Vince Vetrano, WTMJ News.
All of southeastern Wisconsin is currently under a very high fire risk. Fire prevention specialist Catherine Cooley of the Wisconsin DNR says the state is in peak wildfire season.
The peak of Wisconsin's fire season is right after that snow cover disappears and then prior to vegetation greening up. So this is the peak. We are entering that time of year where we're going to start to see a lot more wildfires on the landscape.
The National Weather Service has issued a fire weather watch today until 8 p.m. for southeastern Wisconsin. To stay safe during this dangerous season, Cooley suggests keeping a close eye on the DNR's website because wildfire risks and restrictions change day to day.
After 17 overdose deaths occurred in 3 days at the beginning of April, Chief Health Policy Advisor for Milwaukee County, Dr. Ben Weston, says the medical examiner's office is looking into all possibilities.
The bad batch is a possibility, one of many possibilities, but certainly when you see a spike like the 17 cases in 72 hours, something has changed in the community.
Weston says in addition to learning more about specific cases, health officials continue to work on harm reduction and prevention as well.
Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg filing a lawsuit against Representative Jim Jordan to halt a House Judiciary Committee inquiry. Bragg says, quote, a campaign to intimidate and attack, end quote, him over his indictment over former President Trump. Loyola law professor Lori Levinson.
Now, it's true that Congress has wide leave in doing investigations regarding legislation and the expenditure of federal funds. But this is a state prosecution, and it's really hard to see how Jordan makes a legitimate argument for seeking this type of intrusive discovery into the prosecutor's work in Manhattan.
Bragg's suit says that Congress does not have the authority to oversee or disrupt state law criminal matters such as his case.
Can the Brewers get it going in Arizona? Bob takes a look in sports coming up next.
Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 4:33.
News sponsored by Siding Unlimited. It's Siding and a whole lot more online at sidingunlimited.com.
Integrity. Your home's integrity depends on the roof, on the windows and doors, on the siding. When your home's integrity fails you, you need the people who won't. Siding Unlimited. The dad started a siding company, called it Siding Unlimited, brought up sons Eric and Aaron Brown to be trustworthy, to value their own integrity, and after college to take over the Siding Unlimited biz. The boys expanded Siding Unlimited beyond siding to windows and doors, roofs and decks, your home's integrity factors. Now you can buy those things from lots of people, but I wouldn't. I value the integrity of Eric, Aaron, and the talented American craftsmen that are the Siding Unlimited team. And I'm not just their spokesman. I'm a Siding Unlimited customer. Reliable, truthful, talented, and trustworthy. Winners of many industry awards and customer accolades. They are sidingunlimited.com.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of the Neal Group, with over 40 years of experience saving businesses money. Another year has come and gone. How did yours go? Do you have more money in the bank than last January? Do you just have a job, or do you run a business? 85% of business owners just have a job. Our years of experience and proven strategies help you run your business profitably and get it ready to sell when you are ready. That's the end game, right? We help you look at the numbers and understand what they mean. Just ask Jason, Michelle, or Peter, who sold their businesses this year for a nice price. Do you want to get a decent salary, pay what you owe, and make a profit too? Let us help you improve your business so you can work less and make more. Sounds pretty good, right? To get started on the road to making more money and having less stress, book a call or meeting at nealgroup.net right now. That's NEAL group.net. The first meeting is free to see if we can help. Again, nealgroup.net.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Here's Bob Brainerd.
Game 1 of the Brewers' 10-game road trip was a bumpy ride last night, shutout at Arizona, but in bounce-back mode tonight with Corbin Burns on the bump for Milwaukee. A 5-1 homestand last week, but a humbling start on the road. But that's life in the majors. Here's Craig Counsell.
The season marches on, and that really moderates, kind of your emotions, because you just can't live on a roller coaster. You wear out over the course of the season. So, I've made it. There's a challenge the next day, and that's what you kind of live for, and that's what you get up for.
Pre-game info will be dispensed at 8 p.m. right here on 620 WTMJ. Lakers and T-Wolves, Hawks and Heat. Those are the NBA play-in combatants tonight, with the winners locking in the 7th seed, while the losing squad has to beat the winner of the 9-10 matchup to advance. The Bucks await all this sorting out before hosting Game 1 of their opening round series on Sunday at Fiserv Forum. Wesley Matthews enjoys being in the catbird seat.
So far this season has been a great feat. There's excitement. It's nothing to just dismiss. You don't. Only one team can be the number one overall seed, and we were able to do that. But, we still have our sights set bigger, and it's one game at a time still.
Aaron Rodgers news seems to be no news as we enter the 3rd week without a deal between the Packers and Jets. Packers president Mark Murphy was reminded by Jason Wilde from ESPN Radio this morning before boarding a bus for a statewide tour about all the history of this moment.
When you think about 15 years later, what lessons did you take from that experience on your first tailgate tour and your first year in charge that you can apply now as you're dealing with this?
Well, I'm really glad that Aaron Rodgers turned out to be such a good quarterback, and I'm hopeful that Jordan Love turns out to be a similar quarterback.
He certainly does feel that way, because this has been like a time warp going through it all over again.
You got that right. Thank you, Bob. 4:38 at WTMJ. Do you have a side hustle? How many Americans do? That's up next.
Is inflation busting or benefiting your financial plan? Hi, it's Dan Needles, retired sportscaster. Retiring during these uncertain times has many of us feeling a bit concerned. Between inflation, rising interest rates, and market volatility, there's a lot that's happening that could derail anyone's financial life. So let's talk about it. Join me on Thursday, April 27th at the Milwaukee Marriott West for a panel discussion with Jeff Kowal and the Kowal Investment Group advisors as we examine how today's inflation rate could bust or benefit your retirement plan. The fiduciary advisors at Kowal Investment Group are uniquely qualified to help those with at least $750,000 in investable assets. If you're not already working with one of their advisors, like I am, you won't want to miss this discussion. This is a free event, but be sure to register early as seats are limited. For additional details and to reserve your seat, visit thekowalway.com today. That's K-O-W-A-L, thekowalway.com. I hope to see you there.
Kowal Investment Group is a registered investment advisor.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
There's a new survey out. 2,000 Americans were asked about their financial situation. 55% said they have a side hustle or other form of supplemental income. 55% say in addition to their primary job, they are doing something else on the side, on average spending 8.5 hours a week doing it, aside from their primary job, to make money to make ends meet. That's one statistic. I found these statistics from the survey also very, very interesting. 43% say they have asked someone for financial help in the past 12 months to help pay their bills or to help with living expenses. So not $1 at the vending machine, not can you spot me money, I don't have my wallet. 43% have asked for financial help to pay bills. This is who they've asked. 57% of Americans in the survey, and it's every demographic group. It's from 18 years old to like 80. 57% who have asked for help say they've asked their parents. 42% have asked their friends. 15% have asked their children for money to help them. Boy, that's got to be very humbling. And 25% of people in the survey say they have asked a coworker for money to help them pay their bills or help with living expenses. If you're in a room with 3 other people now, that means one of you has asked somebody, theoretically, for help in paying your living expenses because you cannot do it on your own. I can't imagine, first off, when you have to ask anybody for money, it's humbling. It's a tough situation.
Yeah.
To have to put yourself in the position where you're asking a coworker, even if they're a friend, a coworker, for money to help pay your We Energies bill or buy groceries. That is stunning.
That really is. Because I'm one of those people where if I get an email from you and you're like, hey, do you have the answer to this question? And like, I haven't replied that yet. Like, oh, I don't want to see you because I haven't checked that to-do list. I haven't checked that task off my to-do list. So I would already be awkward, like wanting to avoid you or wanting to make sure I took care of that. So now, oh my gosh, if I borrowed $52 from you so I could make sure that the electricity bill was taken care of, and I'll pay you back in 2 weeks, next paycheck we get. But then I would feel so awkward that those 2 weeks,
I couldn't do it.
It would be.
I
and
could
there's
not do it.
nothing wrong with. I mean, I would rather have people be comfortable to reach out for help. Let me put that out there. But there is no doubt there is a stigma and a whole lot of layers that come with.
I just could never do that.
Money.
I would rather stand out at the street light with a sign
or get yet another side hustle
than ask somebody that I work with. One more number. 52%, 52, say that if they needed to cover a surprise $500 cost tomorrow, they couldn't do it, or they would be forced to not pay bills later in the month.
52%?
52% say, yeah, $500 surprise bill. They could not pay it, or if they did, they would have to not pay other bills that month. It's more than half of us. And this has only, of course, gotten worse because of inflation. Gas is up. Groceries are up. Electricity's up. I mean, everything is up. What has dropped? We're all getting like a 3% pay raise if we're lucky, and prices are up. Inflation's like 11%.
You stumped me on what has dropped. That's why I was giving you that look. I was like, oh, I don't know.
Nothing. Has anything dropped?
No, and everything that you encounter adjusts their prices, and the prices go up, and they will lean on, well, it's inflation. Well, this costs more and costs more to operate said business, so therefore our prices went up.
Yep.
I think this is why, if you do, for most of us, you lean on family. If you are desperate and need to borrow money, you lean on family, because family, they may yell at you, they may give you the stink eye, but they will also understand. And family is a different dynamic than the work family. Like Sandy said, I couldn't borrow from somebody, and even if I paid it back in 2 weeks, just to have that everyday interaction, just like, I owe that person money. And what are they thinking of you when they see you at the water cooler?
Yeah. Okay. On the text line, somebody said, I think eggs have gone down. Eggs are up 70%.
I would say only after they went up even more.
They're up 70%.
Quick Trip, $1.99.
Yeah, that's the place to buy them.
We did get a question on the talk and text line, 855-616-1620 from 262. How many of these people have a cell phone, have cable TV? Sometimes you have to do the bare minimum, which you have to do to pay your bills, which that is something that maybe society in this day and age, do we ever tighten our belt, or would we rather just ask for money?
Ask coworkers.
Well, but that wasn't the
Not
majority
doing it.
of people, but still.
25% of people have asked a coworker. That's like not
That's
like
amazing.
2.5%, 25%. That's an unbelievably high number.
And heartbreaking. That's
Stunning. It is 4:45 at WTMJ. Dr. John Raymond, the Milwaukee Health Briefing, with us live in the studio up next.
New rules, same old Bob Uecker.
Time call now. Here's a penalty. Offside.
All season long, right here on the home of the Brewers, WTMJ.
John Mercure here for Sit Mean Sit Dog Training. If you've got a dog that doesn't behave quite like you want that dog to behave, I've got the answer for you. Sit Mean Sit Dog Training. I know, because we took our 2 corgis to Sit Mean Sit Dog Training, and they are better dogs. They listen better. They sit when they're supposed to. One snuck out the door the other day when I was bringing the garbage can in, and you know what? I yelled, Baxter, Baxter, sit. That would have never happened a year ago. And he did. He sat and he looked at me and tilted his head. I was like, oh, my God, thank you, Sit Mean Sit. And he came back in the house. I think it saved my wife from kicking me out of the house. Sit Mean Sit Dog Training is the real deal. You can start with a free consultation. That's what we did. It's so easy. Check out the website, sitmeansitwaukesha.com.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert back to report even more home buyers paid over the asking price last month, rising to 50% in the 5-county metro area. 3 out of 10 paid $10,000 or more above that list price. The good news is appraised values are generally keeping up with the over-asking offers. Still, the most powerful thing a buyer can do to make their offer the most attractive in a multiple offer situation is to give the seller some appraisal wiggle room, telling the seller you're willing to pay over the asking price even even if the house appraises lower, sounds scary because most buyers think they have to fill that potential gap with more down payment. But in the vast majority of cases, AccuNet is showing home buyers how they can offer appraisal wiggle room without bringing a nickel more to closing. Appraisal wiggle room is like a good card trick. You need to see it to believe it. So if you're home shopping with a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval, upgrade today to an AccuNet rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
All Brewers games are on sale now, including a marquee weekend matchup versus the Red Sox April 21st through the 23rd. Get the one-of-a-kind Yelly Tumbler Gate giveaway on Saturday, presented by American Family Insurance, and treat your crew to Brewers family fun on Sunday with special activities for kids, including Brewers player autographs and a chance to run the bases. Get your seats now at Brewers.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Smart Spaces. Adapt to the modern workplace. SmartSpacesWI.com.
How can Smart Spaces transform your business?
Creating technology, great culture, spaces that people really want to come to, attract talent, and keep that talent.
SmartSpacesWI.com.
Traffic and weather begins with Debbie Lazaga. Hey there, Deb.
Hey there, John. Well, things took a turn for the worse on 43 southbound right at Good Hope Road. We had that earlier accident. It was on the left. Well, now the left lane is blocked. So be prepared for those delays to start to kick in. Then we've got southbound right about at North Avenue. That accident is still there on the right shoulder. So, yeah, fun times. And by the way, right past that, all the way down through the Marquette's going to be slow as well. The westbound 94 hitting the brakes out of the Marquette all the way through to about Mitchell Boulevard. That's about when you start to open it up and everything looks okay. On the eastbound side of 94, we do still have this disabled vehicle off on the left shoulder just past Barker Road that's got things backing up all the way back through Gerke's Corners. And then we've got also an accident 94 eastbound right at Highway F, also on the left shoulder. So give yourself tons of extra time if you're going to be rolling through those areas. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast tonight, clear, mild, a low of 58 degrees. Tomorrow, record warmth, a high of 83. On Thursday, another record breaker, a high of 81. On Thursday, if we get that high, it'll break a record that's 120 years old. On Friday, breezy, still mild, a high of 77. Saturday, rain is likely late in the day, a high of 73 degrees. In Milwaukee right now, it is toasty. It's 78 degrees. Dr. John Raymond is the president and CEO of the Medical College of Wisconsin. Dr. Raymond, thank you so much for being with us here in the studio.
Yeah, thank you, John. Glad to be here.
I wanted to ask you about big news and exciting news. Froedtert Health and ThedaCare have signed a letter of intent to start a process to combine organizations. This consolidation seems to be happening throughout America, and it's happened previously here in Wisconsin. How big a deal is this?
Yeah, I think it's a big deal, and I think it's a good deal. The two parties involved, Froedtert and ThedaCare, both have a commitment to high-quality health care. We have been partners with both of them for decades, and we respect their leadership teams. And I think this will do nothing but improve the reach of the specialty physicians and bring them together with physicians that practice out in the community to deliver high-quality health care.
Froedtert's the primary teaching hospital for Medical College of Wisconsin, but you've also worked with ThedaCare in the past. Will any of that change? Will your relationships morph? Will this mean anything for Medical College of Wisconsin?
Yeah, for MCW, this is an opportunity for us to build those bridges even more significantly and to extend our reach. You know, we do have a regional campus in Green Bay, and we have residency programs in the Fox Valley. So that'll only help us cement the relationships that will grow there in the Fox Valley. I think this is really a fantastic merger. And what's different and really unique about this are two things. These are Wisconsin healthcare systems that have their roots deeply embedded in Milwaukee and in the Fox Valley. So this isn't a merger where somebody from somewhere else is acquiring one of our gems, our healthcare gems. And second of all, that does extend the reach of one of Wisconsin's two medical schools.
We have excellent health care here in Wisconsin, especially southeast Wisconsin, but it's expensive. And research has shown that healthcare consolidations lead to higher prices for patients in general. Is that problematic? How do we get a handle on that? Why does that happen? How do you respond to that?
Yeah, I wish I knew why it happened, but what I can say is this is different because these are two health systems that are committed to delivering the best care for the lowest cost, and they're working very hard on that. If they come together, they'll be able to do that, and they're geographically contiguous. They're right next to each other. So that economy of scale is something that they school class so we can have more doctors. And what's great about the ThedaCare opportunity is there's a maldistribution of physicians in the state, and the Northwoods and the northern parts of the state need more doctors. So partnering with ThedaCare to deliver residents and medical students into that environment can only help.
All right, Bob had a question about something that he's going through this week.
I did, Dr. Raymond, because I got my shingles shot, round 1 of 2, and you have to get the second one, I think, 2 months from now. So tell the folks. So I responded. Tell the folks out there, when should you get your shingle shot, and why should you get a shingle shot?
Well, if you're over 60, you should get a shingle shot, and the reason is most of us have been exposed to herpes zoster. And that can be reactivated and cause shingles very painful. And even after the shingles heal, people can have nerve pain in the areas that are affected by the shingles. So if you do get the vaccine, it lowers the likelihood of you getting shingles. And if you get it, you heal faster and you have less side effects after you're done. So I've had my Shingrix series myself.
Oh, Shingrix. Oh, that's what you.
I have too. So you can get it. Like I think my doctor told me at 50 I was eligible for it.
You are.
But at 60 you should definitely get it.
Definitely.
So 50, is that a good time to start thinking about it?
Sure.
And very minor. I mean, I got a little bit of the chills, the next day. Felt a little dizzy, but it was like one and done. So it's a very minor repercussions after you get the shot, doctor.
It is, but like any vaccine, if you mount an immune response, you can get a fever and your arm can ache and you may have some systemic symptoms for a day or two. But that's simply your body reacting as it should to this new allergen.
And that is much better than the symptoms, because I know 2 people in my life who've had shingles.
It's incredibly painful.
Excruciating, yeah, and it could be crippling. I've got a question for you. Now that the weather is warmed up, Dr. Raymond, you know a little something about axillary hyperhidrosis. What is that?
Yeah, it's actually a very debilitating condition in which people sweat excessively from their armpits. And it can stigmatize the individual. It can cause practical problems with odor and soak through of dress shirts and dresses and whatnot. And there really haven't been good therapies. And one of my family members actually had surgery to try to interrupt the nerve circuits to their armpits to stop the sweating. And there is a new treatment, a patch, that you only apply for a couple of minutes. And when you start to sweat, it targets the sweat glands with something that can inactivate them for as long as 3 to 6 months. So that's a potential new treatment that might help with this really debilitating and embarrassing condition.
Wow, that's a game changer, 3 to 6 months.
Mm-hmm. 3 to 6 months.
Wow.
And non-surgical, which is always
exactly
what we'd prefer to do in the first place.
I want to ask you about the FDA taking the only drug for premature birth off the market. Apparently, it wasn't doing what they had hoped it would do. It's been taken off the market. Can you tell us a little bit about Makena?
Yeah, and thanks for asking. And this is also something that impacted my family. I had an extremely premature birth of my first son, and it caused us to worry about the subsequent pregnancies. So just to understand the scope of the problem, 10% of births now in the U.S. are premature births. In other words, happening before 37 weeks, and many are very premature, and they can have lasting health impacts, disproportionately affect African American and Black women. And so treatments for preterm birth really haven't been that many, primarily surgery, cerclage, or sewing shut the cervix and putting people at bed rest. And so in 2001, through an accelerated pathway, the FDA released Makena to try to reduce the risk of preterm birth based on a pretty small study. Now, because of that accelerated pathway, the manufacturer was required to do follow-up studies. So about 350,000 people have taken Makena to try to reduce preterm birth. Unfortunately, a larger study in 2019 didn't show a benefit of Makena. And so the FDA, upon the recommendation of several of their expert committees, has decided to withdraw the drug from the market. Not everybody's happy about it. There are some obstetrician gynecologists who believe that it's been effective, but the large study didn't show a positive benefit.
Well, that's why we have the studies. Quickly, Dr. Raymond, do you have good news of the week?
I do, and this is a little early, but I want to give people a chance to think about it. International Wish Day is April 29th, and that's a day when you think about sick kids and making a gift to maybe the Make-A-Wish Foundation or Children's Wisconsin. But I also want to say it's a day that maybe you can wish to do something for one of your adult friends or loved ones.
I love that. That is so nice. Dr. Raymond is the president and CEO of the Medical College of Wisconsin. Thank you for always being here with us, Dr. Raymond.
Thanks, John and Sandy.
It is 4:56.
Home practice is about to begin. Your daughter's new tap shoes? Loud. Your son's new tuba? Louder. But you got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with $50 overdraft grace zone. So if you lose track of expenses buying some noise-canceling and sanity-saving headphones, we've got your back. You got this with $50 overdraft grace zone from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here. Would you like your employees to be better leaders, improved critical thinkers, and become more self-aware? LAK Group's coaching services can help. Their coaching has led to impressive, sustainable organizational change, and it's founded on the International Coaching Federation's core principles, aligning individual performance to the needs of your company. Find out how LAK Group's coaching can help you. Visit transformingcareers.com. LAK Group. Discover your human advantage.
Business Headlines, Margaret Notchek's at the Milwaukee Business Journal.
Cardinal Stritch University will close at the end of the academic year. The news was shared Monday evening. All educational services, activities, and programs will cease May 22nd. The university will then begin a wind-down process of operations. The proposed 11-story hotel near Brady Street on Milwaukee's east side continues its progress after receiving approvals from the City of Milwaukee for zoning changes. It now moves to the Milwaukee Common Council for a meeting April 18th. Wauwatosa-based Froedtert Health and Neenah-based Theta Care will consolidate into one healthcare system. The merger is expected to be completed later this year or in early 2024. I'm Margaret Notchek with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com. On News Radio, WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
You know, it feels good when I find something really cool and get a great deal on it. But it feels even better when I know that the money I spend actually goes directly to helping others. That's why I shop at St. Vincent de Paul, because I always find the best bargains, and the money I spend stays in Milwaukee County to help fight hunger and eliminate poverty. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton in Greenfield and 23rd and Lincoln in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Hi, this is Julie Coombs and Cindy Storm Fisher with Storm Fisher Investment Group.
Are you a retiring professional worried about the direction of our economy, about making your money last?
Come see what we can do for you. Let us show you how we take care of you to help you have a great retirement.
We are at 262-796-8400 or stormfisher.com. See you soon.
Securities offered through Securities America Inc. member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Arbor Point Advisors LLC. Storm Fisher, Arbor Point, and Securities America are separate entities.
At QC Kinetics, we have story after story of patients freed from agonizing pain through amazing regenerative treatments. But this one, well, it's special.
My father, who is 70 years old, had both of his knees worn out. He went to an orthopedic surgeon who said, you need both of your knees operated on. We can book you for next week.
That's Dr. Daniel Zuckerman, Medical Director for QC Kinetics.
Had him come to QC Kinetics. We treated both of his knees using our protocols with regenerative medicine. Within a few months, he was back to walking. A few months later, he was at the gym exercising 3 times a week. He can keep up with our 3.5-year-old little girl.
No surgery, no complicated rehab or downtime.
It's completely life-changing for him.
You have options too. Before they whisk you away to surgery, slow down. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation. Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Heard it work? Contact Tayback for the payback. Go to TaybacKattorneys.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Annex Wealth Management.
It's time to know the difference, and Annex Wealth Management is ready to help with investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning as a fee-only fiduciary partner. AnnexWealth.com. Click the Get Started button.
The place to get caught up, to speak out, to connect and be entertained. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
I'm John Mercure. Your top story, a big-time team-up in Wisconsin healthcare.
I'm Sandy Max. Smokey Bear are worried today.
And I'm Bob Brainerd in for Greg Matzik. The Bucks play the waiting game for the playoffs.
I'm Debbie Laziga. Solid ride right now from Brown Deer Road all the way down past an accident at Good Hope Road that's got the left lane blocked. Just be prepared for that. Then a little bit further south, we do still have this accident at North Avenue off on the right shoulder. It's going to be slowing down from about Keefe down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. You're going to see delays pretty much all the way down to the KK River. Right now, it's a 12-minute ride from downtown to Layton Avenue. It's an extra 5. But take that back a step, southbound 43, Brown Deer Road to downtown will take you 30 minutes. It's a 19-minute backup. Another accident along 94 eastbound at Highway F in Waukesha County. That one's off on the left, backing things up back towards the Highway 164 area. And then we've also got this broken down vehicle just past Barker Road on the left shoulder that's for some reason backing things up all the way back to the accident scene. I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, clear and mild, a low of 58 degrees. Tomorrow, record warmth, a high of 83. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a major healthcare announcement. Froedtert Health and ThedaCare are merging to form one health system.
ThedaCare primarily serves the northeast and central part of our state. It will combine with Froedtert Health in a transition expected to take months. Froedtert President and CEO Kathy Jacobson will stay on as CEO of the combined health system for its first 6 months and then retire. She's promising enhanced access to more services for patients in both systems. Jacobson telling the Milwaukee Business Journal no decision has been made about the location of a headquarters for the merged system, expected to launch late this year. Vince Vitrano, WTMJ News.
All of southern Wisconsin currently under a very high fire risk. Fire prevention specialist Catherine Cooley of the Wisconsin DNR says the state is in peak wildfire season.
The peak of Wisconsin's fire season is right after that snow cover disappears and then prior to vegetation greening up. So this is the peak. We are entering that time of year where we're going to start to see a lot more wildfires on the landscape.
The National Weather Service has issued a fire weather watch until 8 o'clock tonight for southeastern Wisconsin, and a grass fire already shut down part of I-43 in Ozaukee County earlier this afternoon.
The grieving continues in Barron County after 2 officers were shot and killed in the area over the weekend.
The candlelight vigil is now planned for Chetek police officer Emily Breedenbach and Cameron officer Hunter Shield. That vigil will be tomorrow night at 7 at Mosaic Technologies in Cameron. And if you're unable to attend the vigil, community members have started a memorial fund for Officer Breedenbach at Sterling Bank in Chetek, with an online fund coming soon. Funeral arrangements for each officer have yet to be announced, but the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reporting those are expected sometime today. Finn Askin, WTMJ News.
An ace takes the mound to even the series. Bob Brainerd explains next in sports.
Citing unlimited WTMJ News Time, 5:04.
This report sponsored by Pella of Wisconsin. Discover Pella now, pay later at PellaWI.com.
Hello, baseball fans. Jeff Levering here, calling the action with the amazing team at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. And what a roster we have. Up to bat is Pella's award-winning Easy Slide innovation. Wow, what a smooth glide. Pella's sliding windows are incredibly easy to maneuver, wider than they are tall. They glide horizontally, letting in lots of natural light and unobstructed views. And that roll? It's a double play. Pella's premium roll screens operate like magic. Close the window and the screen rolls away completely out of sight. Now that is slick. On deck is Pella's Reserve Series patio door. Just look at that slide. It's a perfect fit. Pella Reserve patio doors offer virtually unlimited sizes and custom colors, and they're backed up with the best lifetime warranty in the industry. Pella sure is one heck of a 5-tool player, and you can bring any number of their all-star innovations home for 0% for 48 months when you order by April 30th. Visit PellaWI.com for this amazing deal.
Certain restrictions apply.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of Right Choice Tax Resolution. I just finished writing a book about my experiences dealing with the IRS. It is already a bestseller. The IRS is the most ruthless collection agency in the world. They can seize your bank accounts, garnish your wages, and even take your house. The state can deny your professional license as a teacher, nurse, or other occupation. Do you want your employer to know about your problems? My book tells you what you can do so you don't have to worry about them ever again. Don't bury your head in the sand and hope the problem will go away. It will only get worse unless you step up and do something. We can help. We help reduce or eliminate penalties, negotiate payment plans, and represent you in tax audits. Make the right choice and go to rightchoicetax.us to book a call or meeting right now. We know you want to take the first step in getting the IRS off your back so you can live again. That's rightchoicetax.us.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Here's Bob Brainerd.
Corbin Burns on the mound tonight as the Brewers take on the Diamondbacks in Arizona. It's Game 2 of that series and the second of a 10-game road trip out west. Merrill Kelly goes for the D-backs. Pre-game coverage begins at 8 p.m. here on 620 WTMJ. The Bucks don't hit the hardwood until Sunday. That'll be Game 1 of their opening series of the NBA playoffs. They might face the loser of tonight's Miami-Atlanta play-in game. The winner gets Boston. The loser has to beat the winner of the other play-in between Chicago and Toronto. And Packers president Mark Murphy was mum on any Aaron Rodgers movement before boarding a bus for the tailgate tour throughout the state. Murphy deferred that all talks are being sorted out between Brian Gutekunst and the Jets GM, Joe Douglas.
It's time for Extra Points, a sports commentary on Wisconsin's afternoon news. Here's Bob Brainerd.
Cardinal Stretch closing its doors caught many in the community off guard, and it certainly had to be a jarring moment for the Wolves athletic department that sponsors 6 men's teams and 7 women's squads. That's 13 teams with coaches and players that compete in the NAIA competition who will be looking for new addresses. Many schools, like Stritch, appeal to collegiate athletes who can compete at a high level and garner an education in an environment that is cozy and comfortable. In 2013, the Wolves reached the pinnacle with an NAIA Division II national championship in men's basketball. The head coach was Drew Diener. Yep, he's from that Hoops family tree. For all the criticism the college portal scrutiny is under, with some athletes changing school logos year after year after year, this is a choice that many wearing the Wolves crest have no choice but to deal with and find a new home that needs a student-athlete without a home.
Extra Point sponsored by All Right Home and Remodeling. When you want it done right, call All Right.
I'm Randy Miller, owner of All Right Home and Remodeling and current president of the Milwaukee chapter of NARI. For 3 generations, our family business has been about more than just our family. It's about the people who work for us and with us. It's about helping families improve their homes, which improves their lives. It's about honest work and fair pricing. It's also about paying it forward by giving back. Get started at ALLRITE remodeling.com.
Centerpoint Yacht Services presents the Pontoon and Deck Boat Event of the Year. April 20th through 23rd at Centerpoint Pewaukee, and you won't believe the deals. Choose from over 10 different boat and motor brands, pontoons, tri-toons, deck boats, and luxury bow riders. Don't miss an exciting summer on the water with family and friends. The time to invest in summer fun is now. 4 days only, April 20th through 23rd, Centerpoint Pewaukee, Highway 16 and Capitol Drive. Online at centerpointservice.com. Be there.
What if you could build a 6-figure retirement income with almost half the money saved? You heard that right. Get a discount on your retirement, creating a 6-figure income with 40% less than traditional 401ks and mutual funds. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons, best-selling author and executive producer of a new Hollywood documentary called The Baby Boomer Dilemma. In this film, economists and Nobel Prize-winning PhDs from Wharton, MIT, and Stanford share a strange concept called the retirement discount. It gives you more retirement income with the same dollar saved, and your money is never at risk if the market crashes. That's right. If the market crashes 30%, you lose nothing. Even people who are on track have shifted money to this new strategy because it increases their retirement income or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you're 50 or older and want a bigger, better retirement, call Mitch Lyons Wealth to get a free copy of this brand new movie at 1-800-578-3535. This is a $30 value, but when you call today, you'll get it completely free. Plus, I'll include a copy of my book, Retirement of Steel. And I'll even pay your shipping and handling. No credit card required. Call right now. 1-800-578-3535. That's 1-800-578-3535.
Since 1964, we've changed your tires and so much more. Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
Grandview Buys Homes. Let us help you sell your loved one's home. We'll buy your home completely as is. Get a fair cash offer in 48 hours and close on the day you choose. Take only the belongings you want and leave the stress and the mess to us. GrandviewHomes.com.
Men's wedding bands made from whiskey barrels and meteorites.
Welcome to Kessler's.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here's John McCure.
Sandy Max is here, so is Bob Brainerd. Debbie Lazaga is here, and Adam Roberts is producing the show this afternoon. All right, so the president is in Northern Ireland. 25 years after the U.S. helped broker peace in Northern Ireland, President Biden is in Belfast today. So this is amazing because I was just in Northern Ireland, and when I was in Northern Ireland, while we were there, the terrorism threat level was raised to severe. And it was because President Biden is coming there. So there was no tangible threat like there wasn't, we're going to blow up this hotel. But, they've long had issues with what they call the Troubles. That's such an Irish term, how they describe the war that basically ravaged the country. They call it the Troubles. And it's been quiet because of a peace that was brokered. It's called the Good Friday Agreement during the Clinton administration. The United States brokered a peace agreement that's held for 25 years. And they're grateful to the United States for that. And so now Joe Biden is there to commemorate the 25th anniversary of the Good Friday Agreement. And then he's going on to Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, because he's got Irish roots.
I was going to say, he's got family there. So to not only celebrate the silver anniversary, but do some sightseeing, maybe reconnect with some family, it sounds like. So did you leave the president any notes anywhere?
I might have.
If he picks up a coaster at Temple Bar, will he say,
If he flips that coaster over, hey, Mr. President. Yeah, maybe at Jameson, there might be a little something there for him. So he's in Belfast for one night, and then he's on to the Republic of Ireland, I think, for 3 days. He's in Dublin primarily.
Did you visit any of the places that he is going to be at, like Ulster University? I think he's going to make an address in Belfast.
Yeah, he spent a very little time in Belfast. And I know we stayed at the hotel that presidents have always stayed at. The hotel he's staying at Belfast is the first time a U.S. president has stayed there. They've always all stayed at the same hotel called the Hotel Europa. He's at a different hotel. From what I read, it's a swanky, chic hotel. So he goes to bed at like 7:30, so I don't know why he needs a swanky, chic hotel. But so the president is in Ireland. We just saw pictures. He has landed. He's on the ground in Northern Ireland. He goes on to Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, tomorrow. All right, there's some big stuff going on in the news. Cardinal Stritch abruptly decides to close its doors. A major medical organization merger. Mark Cass is the editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal. That's where I read the news first thing this morning. He will be with us live in the studio up next. Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. The current economic climate may look grim, but how menacing is it to your retirement plan? Join us Wednesday, April 19th at 11 a.m. for Inflation, Rate Hikes, and Bears Oh My, a special webinar with Dave Spano of Annex Wealth Management. We'll take a historical look and share how inflation, rate hikes, and volatile markets have an impact on retirement planning and what you can do. Inflation and Rate Hikes and Bears Oh My, the webinar, Wednesday, April 19th at 11 a.m. Complete details and registration at annexwealth.com/events. Hey, John Mercure here for Town Bank. If last year taught us anything, it's that owning a business means being resourceful, and that includes choosing partners you can trust. So if you have business accounting, if you need business banking needs, get in trust with my guys at Town Bank. They will take really good care of you. Need personal financial assistance? Town Bank knows when you're working toward a financial goal, every little bit counts. When you open a Total Access checking account, you get free ATMs nationwide, and you get a $300 bonus. Those ATMs, it's great. I have a daughter in New York, a daughter in Texas. The free ATMs are absolutely the way to go. No matter what goals you've met, Town Bank can help you achieve them with banking solutions like entrepreneur checking, small business loans, and much more. And parents, it's never too early to start teaching your kids about money. This year, help them take the first step toward a healthy financial future with the Junior Savers Account. With the Junior Savers Account, children earn interest on every dollar they deposit, plus they'll have access to fun activities and giveaways throughout the year. It's Town Bank. For more information on Wisconsin's bank, check out townbank.us. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Welcome back to Ask Hassellus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
What keeps you up at night?
My box spring. It supports my mattress, prevents sagging, and gives my bed a little elevation.
You're a literal guy, aren't you?
Well, through Monday at Hassellus Mattress, you can literally get a free box spring with the purchase of a new Sealy Posturepedic or Beautyrest mattress, or take an equal amount off a new adjustable base.
Great. That's going to keep me up at night.
Open 9 to 9. Find a showroom near you or shop online at hassellus.com.
The World Eating Championship Burrito has arrived at Qdoba, featuring freshly grilled chicken, Qdoba's custom 3-cheese queso, hand-smashed guacamole, roasted tomato salsa, cilantro lime rice, and black beans. Packed with flavor and featured in the first ever World Burrito Eating Championship. It's available for a limited time only, exclusively online at Qdoba.com or on the Qdoba app. It's the World Eating Championship Burrito. Available now at Qdoba.com and the Qdoba app until April 21st.
Visit GetRoto.net for all your sewer and drain cleanup needs.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name, and away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Traffic sponsored by Roto-Rooter, the sewer and drain experts you've trusted for over 85 years. All right, how we doing, Deb?
Well, it's backed up, that's for sure. We've got these accidents. One at Good Hope Road that's got the left lane blocked, backing things up past Brown Deer Road. And then we got the other one at North Avenue that is still causing some problems. It is out of traffic, but still very slow. The northbound side slowing down from Fond du Lac Avenue up past North Avenue. Westbound 94 slow from the Marquette all the way through the stadium. And the couple of issues we've got in Waukesha County. On eastbound 94 at Highway F, we've got an accident on the left shoulder. Then we got another disabled vehicle on the left shoulder just east of Barker Road. And that's backing things up through Gerke's Corners. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast tonight, clear and mild, a low of 58 degrees. Tomorrow, record warmth, a high of 83 degrees, which would break the record if we get that. On Thursday, another sunny, breezy day. Once again, they're forecasting we break the record. High on Thursday, expected to be 81 degrees. The record was set 120 years ago. On Friday, still mild, a high of 77. On Saturday, rain and storms likely late, a high of 73 degrees. In Milwaukee right now, it is 78. Mark Cass is the editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal, and he is with us in the studio. Mark, how was the walk over?
Well, I had to drive over because I was at another place here, but it's, man, we should have this. We should have this outside. I don't know why we're doing this interview.
It's a great idea.
We should be outside in the community, John. You should be among the people. You should be outside on the streets, kind of talking.
Is
to
it
people.
in your contract?
But
You need to be inside where the climate's controlled. Can we take
actually,
you outside?
I actually need a contract from you guys. That would be really nice. Could I get where's my M&Ms? There's no M&Ms here for me. Okay, he's not helping at all. Did
you have the windows down?
I had the windows down. I had the rooftop open. It was gorgeous. I think you really need to change this up here.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't just take the hop.
I could have, but man, I was thinking about an accident on the way over, and I didn't want to get in another one. So
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Hey, all day I've been waiting to talk to you about the story I first read about in the Milwaukee Business Journal. Cardinal Stritch University saying they're facing a no-win situation, closing abruptly at the end of the semester. Mark, you've talked to a lot of people in the community today. This seems to have caught everybody by surprise.
Yeah, very much of a surprise, and really kind of shocking because you often see these things happen, and you'll see them ask for money. They'll make an appeal. They'll reach out to all leaders in the community and say, hey, And the thing I also learned today was there are a lot of alumni in town, a lot of well-known alumni in town who probably would have helped. So I'm surprised that it came abruptly. I'm surprised there was not an appeal. I mean, how many times are you hit up through your college? I know I get a letter
all
a week
the time.
Asking me for money for everything. I get phone calls, seems like every third night from my college asking me for money. And it's been a few years. I know John has been a lot more than I have, but it's been a few years.
And I'm cheap. I don't give anything
You
to
don't
those
give anything
guys.
to anybody.
Yeah.
So, but really surprising if they didn't try to hit up their alumni to help, to get another year or two. But I think they just realized that kind of long term that it wasn't going to work, which is very surprising.
Why did they say it's not going to work? I mean, this doesn't happen overnight.
No. Well, the thing is, and it happens, it's rare. This has not happened in a long time in Wisconsin. You're talking 40, 50 years since this has happened. And it's really about the pandemic in terms of kids who've gone there, students. It's about a lot fewer students that have gone there. It's about money. It's in terms of cost. It's in terms of competition. Not having housing there for years. Obviously now have added housing. It's just a lot of factors, a lot of competition among colleges. There's a lot of small colleges in this area. Think of them all in this area and kind of really competing against them nationally. So there's a lot of factors at play. I still am very surprised though that not to make an appeal. There's some very well-known individuals who've helped them over the years,
and some wealthy individuals that have helped them over the years.
And to not try that means there's a lot more probably under here that's not being said.
Do you feel that this could possibly be the first of a couple of dominoes, or do you think this maybe is hopefully an isolated case?
I hope it's an isolated case, but yeah, I think you're right. And I think that was the concern over the last 3 years. As we saw what happened kind of during the pandemic, I mean, you saw that at small colleges. You saw that at all large colleges. They lost a lot of money, not getting that housing money, not getting kind of all the things that happen, having to go virtual, and then obviously kind of losing students. Really hurt a lot of colleges. We thought there'd be more. This is obviously the first. I mean, if you ask me, I'm not sure who's next, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was another one. I don't know who that is at this point, but I think everybody has to be concerned with this happening. This is not great for the community.
Mark Cass is the editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal. In the population they serve, Mark, a diverse population, yes. A quarter of their students are black or Hispanic. A third of their undergrad students receive the Pell Grant, so they're financially needy. International students. I mean, this really leaves a little bit of a void, even though their student body wasn't that big, because people who couldn't afford other institutions
were going there,
often went to Stritch.
And that helps the city. Seeing that happen, seeing individuals who have a chance to go to college, who have a chance to get an education, who have a chance to get a hopefully a higher paying job, is good for the city. It helps create wealth. So that, John, I think that is a huge loss. Hopefully some of the other schools will kind of help out here and will come in and help the students. I mean, think about this. If you're a freshman or you're a sophomore there, and all of a sudden in a month you got to change schools, you don't know where you're going to go, you get a call, you got to call home and say, I'm not sure what's going to happen next year, kind of mom and dad. I mean, you're a parent, John.
It's a nightmare.
Think of that call that
how would
you would have gotten.
That?
I mean, how would you figure that out?
In May, you don't know where you're going to be going in the fall?
April, quite a few students have already, it's a mess. I feel bad for the kids. Kind of as he was talking earlier about sports. Think of the sports teams. Now they got to kind of figure this out. This is, to actually close this quickly and not leave them with warning and not try and figure out. And then, we're not even going to talk about all the people that are going to lose their jobs there.
Right.
In terms of the staff, in terms of the faculty, in terms of the people who supply things there. All the vendors and all that kind of stuff. This is going to have a ripple effect throughout the community.
Mark, I want to ask you about the other big news making ripples today. Froedtert Health and ThedaCare sign a letter of intent. They're going to team up. They're going to be together. Dr. John Raymond was with us in the studio and made a lot of points about why this is really good news. Is this all good news? Is this exciting news? How do you feel about this?
It's interesting news. I will say that, and I'll never argue with him because he's a very smart man. He's a lot smarter than you and I combined.
True.
Really, no doubt about that. But I will say it's going to be interesting to watch because this is a trend. You saw it with Advocate Aurora and Atrium combining.
Yep.
Now you have our next largest, Froedtert and ThedaCare combining. They say it's good, but over the years as we've watched things happen, it hasn't lowered healthcare costs. They always talk about kind of how it's going to be better, be bigger. So we're going to have to watch that very closely. The thing I'm going to say is it's going to mean some layoffs. There is no doubt. I'm not sure if it's going to be here or it's going to be up in Appleton. You don't combine.
There's duplicity
unless you have cuts coming. Correct?
Right.
Why else would you do it? So that's going to be a case. But I think if you look at hospitals and how they've struggled the past couple of years in terms of staffing, in terms of costs, in terms of the impact of COVID, they have to look at these things kind of long term. Froedtert is a tremendous hospital, it's a tremendous asset here in the region. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Who's kind of in charge? Because how it's going to play out is 6 months from now. The CEO of Froedtert, who's a very well-known individual in town, has a tremendous impact. She's a huge player. She's going to retire, and the CEO of the Appleton firm is now going to be in charge. Okay, what does that mean for the headquarters? Is it going to be here? Or is it going to be up in Appleton?
What will the name of it be?
What will the name of it be?
Where will the headquarters
be? Right.
be?
So there's a lot of questions I think we'll kind of hear about. But, I think we have to watch these things, and at some point, it's got to lower healthcare costs, right? Some point, you have to address that.
But how the market generally works, better than I do, is competition breeds lower costs.
Yes.
And if there are less healthcare systems,
correct.
And when we wake up one morning and there's only like 3 of these in the entire state, that doesn't usually bode well for the consumer.
You don't have a choice, right? So,
right.
Because you got to go to Advocate Aurora, you got to go to Froedtert. What are your choices? So, and healthcare doesn't operate kind of like a normal business. You think about a McDonald's and a Hardee's and Arby's, how they compete and actually lower prices. Healthcare seems to actually raise prices when they get together.
Yeah, you're right.
Because there's so many layers with the insurance,
right.
and it's not just a clean cut.
Well, nobody ever understands a healthcare bill. Has anybody ever understand? You get a bill, it's for $1,000, you pay $17.20. You're not sure how it came to that, but that's how much you pay, right?
And there are a lot of other code numbers on there.
Right.
It's like,
that none of us understand. Mark Cass is the editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal. Check out their stuff online. I get the notifications because I subscribe. You should do the same thing. Always good stuff. Mark, thank you so much for being with us.
Always good to be here. I'm going back outside. It's too nice to
That's
be
a really
inside.
good idea. Will you take us with? Can we?
John,
let's do last half hour outside.
You guys should go on the road for the last half hour. I like that idea.
Put us in your speakers at least.
There we go.
We'll be right there with you.
I said, will you take us outside? He looked right at you.
I did.
He's like, I might take Sandy.
I'll take Sandy.
You can stay in the studio, Mercure.
John can run stuff. You and I will go outside. We'll have a great time.
Yep.
All right. We'll have a beer. We'll just kind of hang out. It'd be really cool.
No,
so lemonade would be good.
Lemonade.
That
I like
sounds
that.
really good.
Yeah.
All right, Mark. We'll talk to you later, buddy.
Thank you. Take care.
It is 5:26 at WTMJ. Time for the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Stocks mixed today. Tech stocks did slump a little bit, turning to inflation data, which is due coming up here later on in the week. Here's how we did. The S&P 500 was flat today. 41.08 was the close. The Dow was up 98 points to close at 33,684. The NASDAQ was off 52 points to close at 1231. The Russell 2000 was up 14 points. Crude oil up for the day, back over $80 a barrel. Gold was up, silver was up. The 10-year Treasury bond was down on the day. Annex Wealth Management, it's time to calibrate your plan. Get on track with investment and retirement planning. And visit your guys that I trust at annexwealth.com. Click the Get Started button today. It's that easy. It's Annex Wealth Management. Hey, John Mercure here for Dave Drake Camp Heating. We're officially in the midst of Be Prepared for Anything season. You know what this goes like right now. It's going to be 80 degrees coming up in the next couple of days. Then after that, we could get a little bit of snow. I know, don't even want to say it, but it could happen. The recent sporadic temperatures may have you unsure of what's coming next, but you can always count on comfort with a call to Dave Drake Camp Heating, regardless of any weather that's going on. Get caught up with the team that I trust. Let them come out, take care of your system, maybe a system tune-up, putting off on buying some new stuff. Now is the time. Rebates are back on. Inventories are back to healthy levels. The teams I trust are at Dave Drake Camp Heating. They've made sure that we've never been more comfortable than we are in our house right now. With over 40 years as the Lennox premier dealer of Southeast Wisconsin, Dave Drake Camp Heating will design you the most efficient, comfortable system to replace that aging, inefficient system. Dave Drake Camp. Check them out at davedrakecamp.com.
With inflation on the rise, Wisconsinites are hurting at the gas pump, at the grocery store, and to pay their bills. Now big city lobbyists are pushing for potentially massive property tax hikes, which would put a further burden on your already stretched thin wallet. They are coming after the local property tax levy freeze that has saved taxpayers more than $3.5 billion since 2011. Property taxes are already Wisconsin's most onerous tax, and their proposal would make it worse. Right now, you control your property tax increases by voting in local referenda. The big city lobbyists want to take away your control and allow property taxes to increase automatically without your approval. We must stop this attempt to thaw the property tax freeze. Call your legislator at 800-362-9472 and let them know you appreciate their efforts to protect your hard-earned money. Paid for by the Wisconsin Homeowners Alliance.
It's here on consignment from over 10,000 nationwide partners. From very high-end, distinctive furniture, unique antiques and original art, to tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. Premium home decor priced right at 25 to 40% off retail prices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Smart interior designers know that what they'll see here is going to be almost impossible to find anywhere else, especially at our consignment prices. Premium home decor that's gently loved and close to new. And what we carry can raise the wow factor of anyone's home decor. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 5:30. I'm John Mercure. A major merger.
I'm Sandy Max. A bad batch.
And I'm Bob Brainerd, in for Greg Matzik. The Brewers try to charm the Snakes.
I'm Debbie Lazigo. We still have this accident at Good Hope Road blocking the left lane. That's got things back to the county line, slowing down. But the good news is the accident at North Avenue has finally been cleared out of the way. Still seeing a little bit of a backup from Fond du Lac Avenue down through the Marquette, but nothing hugely major. The westbound side is going to be a bit slow, 94 I should say, right out of the Marquette down through the Stadium interchange. And then, of course, we've got the accidents. There's one on 94 eastbound at Highway F, and then the backups with a disabled vehicle at just east of Barker Road that's backing things up all the way back to that accident scene. And while you're out navigating the roads as quickly and safely as possible, if you see something we should know about, call the WTMJ Hall Mazda traffic tip line at 414-238-9329. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, clear and mild, a low of 58 degrees. Tomorrow, windy, record warmth, a high of 83 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a major healthcare announcement. Froedtert Health and ThedaCare are merging to form one health system.
ThedaCare primarily serves the northeast and central part of our state. It will combine with Froedtert Health in a transition expected to take months. Froedtert President and CEO Kathy Jacobson will stay on as CEO of the combined health system for its first 6 months and then retire. She's promising enhanced access to more services for patients in both systems. Jacobson telling the Milwaukee Business Journal no decision has been made about the location of a headquarters for the merged system, expected to launch late this year. Vince Vitrano, WTMJ News.
After 17 overdose deaths occurred in 3 days at the beginning of April, Chief Health Policy Advisor for Milwaukee County, Dr. Ben Weston, says the medical examiner's office is looking into all the possibilities.
The bad batch is a possibility, one of many possibilities, but certainly when you see a spike like this, 17 cases in 72 hours, something has changed in the community.
Weston says in addition to learning more about this specific case, health officials continue to work on harm reduction and prevention as well.
Louisville police have now released the body cam footage of Monday's bank rampage that killed 5.
The body cam footage shows the first 2 Louisville police officers who respond to the shooting. When they arrive, gunfire can clearly be heard. At several points, we hear Officer Corey Galloway as the suspect fires on them.
He's shooting straight through these windows, right towards the officer.
The other officer, Nicholas Wilt, was critically wounded. That portion was not shown.
The shooter has an angle on that officer. We need to get up there.
Eventually, the gunman is shot and killed. Steve Futterman, CBS News.
Milwaukee police are investigating after a body was found near Water Street floating in the water this morning. MPD saying it was an unidentified male body. They're investigating his cause of death, but right now they say it does not appear to be suspicious.
A large hotel on Milwaukee's east side is one step closer to reality. The 11-story building would go up near Farwell and Brady, according to plans approved by a Common Council committee. One resident testifying before that committee is upset with the size of the project.
Developers want to make the most money they possibly can from building the most lavish project on site they can. It's not serving the neighborhood need.
The full council will consider the hotel project next week.
Can the Brewers get the bats going in the desert? Bob Brainerd has more next in sports.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 5:33. News is sponsored by Holiday Automotive. At Highway 23 in Fond du Lac, Holiday Automotive, it's worth the trip.
Greg Matzik here for Holiday Mazda in Fond du Lac, where the Spring Forward sales event is on. Holiday is the destination to gear up for driving season, while you get more Mazda for your money and more for your trade on the new or Mazda certified pre-owned car or crossover that's right for you. Choose one that's in stock today or reserve one that's on the way and be ready to drive inspired on the adventures ahead. With Team Holiday on your side, you'll be in the caring and capable hands of Wisconsin's top value Mazda dealer. It's #1 Mazda certified pre-owned dealer and the Badger State's only recipient of the prestigious Mazda President's Club Award, recognizing excellence and exceptional guest care. Accolades are per Mazda North American Operations, Performance, and Zone Sales records for 2022. And they underscore why I and thousands of other drivers are fans of Holiday Mazda. I'm confident you will be too. Find yours and discover the difference at Holiday Mazda, Highway 41 and 23 in Fond du Lac, and online at holidaymazda.com. It's worth the trip.
Well-changing question. Are you keeping as much of your investment gains as possible? High taxes can erode returns quickly, so you need a tax-optimized portfolio. At Creative Planning, our money managers and specialists work together to make sure your portfolio and wealth are managed in a tax-efficient manner. It's what you keep that really matters. Why not give your wealth a second look? Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
The Monkees, celebrated by Mickey Dolenz, performing their classic hits live. April 23rd, Pabst Theater. Also playing songs from their legendary #1 album, Headquarters. And paying tribute to Davy Jones, Mike Nesmith, and Peter Tork through stories and clips from their beloved series. Tickets on sale now at the Pabst Theater box office or PabstTheaterGroup.com.
Time for an update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Here's Bob Brainerd.
Craig Counsell will turn in the lineup card tonight in Arizona, and when he does, he'll become the all-time leader in games managed by a Milwaukee Brewers skipper. Counsell will pass Phil Garner, managing game number 1,181. Tonight, Counsell hoping to get Corbin Burns out of his funk. He's gone 0-2 to start his campaign.
Corbin's just a little off, and I mean, I think it's very small, and it's because there's some really good pitches in there, and then there's been some mistakes. He's not far off. It's a little thing, and we'll get it straightened out, and we'll see Corbin Burns.
Pre-game show at 8 right here on 620 WTMJ. The Bucks will tune in tonight to watch Miami and Atlanta tangle in an NBA play-in contest. The winner gets Boston. The loser could face Milwaukee if they win another game. Coach Bud, not too worried about getting the jump on their first-round opponent.
Yeah, those guys will, they'll maintain, they kind of have teams, and, so they'll be preparing, and, some of the other guys can do some side projects, and, I think we'll probably focus a lot on ourselves, too, to be honest with you, and the appropriate amount of scouting and prep will be put in.
And Mark Murphy got peppered before hopping on the Packers tailgate tour bus this morning. That's just a preview of the peppering he's about to get from fans he visits across the state.
Do you need a deal to get done before the draft, or are you guys okay going into the summer if that's what it takes?
No, again, that's something Brian is working on, and I've been actively involved, and there's really nothing more to say.
I'm with you, John. I think somewhere on this tour, something's going to
Oh,
slip
my gosh.
at a small town in northern Wisconsin.
You know it.
And then it's going to be like the smoke billowing because the word is out.
Yep. I'm at Eagle River Days, and I just got out of the Dirty Squirrel Tavern, and some high school journalist asked me about Aaron Rodgers. And
what could I say?
I told the world that, we're about to sign him an hour from now. I mean, it's definitely going to happen.
I can't wait.
We'll bring it to you. It's 5:38 at WTMJ.
This report sponsored by Mr. Holland's Heating and Air Conditioning. Visit MrHollandsHeatingandAir.com.
Rain, rain, go away, come again some other day. Actually, crazy storms and high winds go away and stay away. When you spring up out of nowhere, humidity goes up, power lines go down, and plumbing goes sideways. Mr. Holland's Home Services can make the rain pain go away with our trusty team of proficient plumbers, effective electricians, and HVAC MVPs. It's true that April showers bring May flowers, but they also bring about pesky power outages, uncomfortable clammy climates, and soggy, sloppy basements and crawl spaces. So if you find yourself in need of a new sump pump or water heater, electrical repairs or a whole house generator, or a fresh new furnace and AC, Mr. Holland's Home Services is always here to help, come rain or shine. 866-992-1717 or visit MrHollandsHomeservices.com. If you're ready to take April by storm, we can help.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
Meteorologist Brian Niznansky is with us on a beautiful day to be outside. Where are you, Niz? What are you up to?
We're on the south side of Milwaukee, awesome neighborhood here in Muskego Way neighborhood. We're on the corner of Muskego Avenue and Beecher. We're just out in the city, warm summer day, but also I wanted to highlight there's this awesome group called Muskego Way Forward and Avenue and Beecher. If you're looking to volunteer, you don't have to do anything, but show up. They'll have all the supplies for you 11 a.m. on Saturday.
You feel like you did a good deed in advance of Earth Day.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the weather's great. I mean, a reason to be outside, help out your community. I think it should be good. We're watching Saturday, maybe a little rain that moves in late Saturday. But I think during that 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. time frame, still should be pretty good.
Niz, you're everybody's friend today. I took a lunchtime stroll, Wisconsin Avenue, saw some kayakers on the river. Said hi.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here right now. I'm in the storm chaser vehicle, and I can smell someone's got the grill fired up around here. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna be nosing my way around somewhere in the backyard over here because it smells awesome. Smells like some barbecue's on. And it's that type of evening, guys. Enjoy it. A little taste of summer here in southeastern Wisconsin.
Let's get into this because, we've kept records for so long. It's not very often we break one, but 2 days in a row, that almost never happens, but that could happen this week.
It's very possible. Tomorrow's record high, 82. I'm forecasting a high of 83.
Wow.
And then as we head into Thursday, the record's only 79, and I think we get up to at least 80 again on Thursday. So that would be back-to-back days. Now Friday, partly cloudy, breezy, still mild. 71 on Friday near the lake. Inland spots still could get close to 80 on Friday. It's just that Friday. That's another thing with this warm up. We have the strong southwest wind that offsets even communities that would be still stuck at 50, like Whitefish Bay up to Port Washington. They've been able to enjoy the warmth, and they'll continue to enjoy the warmth until Friday. 71 for a high Friday, partly cloudy and breezy. Saturday is the change day. Rain and storms moves in late afternoon and evening, a high of 68. 73 inland, and then Sunday, some scattered rain and maybe sleet showers with highs only in the 40s. So back to reality. With the warm air and strong winds, guys, a couple things to point out. Very high fire danger across southeastern Wisconsin. We started talking about it yesterday. Now we have a fire weather watch, which is pretty rare for us. The next level would be a red flag warning, where, again, no burning tomorrow. I just saw that pretty much every county in the area, it is absolute no burning. So if you wanted to burn that brush pile, hold off tomorrow.
Niz, next week, when you see the temperatures sliding back into reality, it's going to feel like it's brutal to all of us. But is that more normal this time of year?
It is. I mean, low 50s are normal. So, yeah, middle 40s are probably more typical for April than 80s, So, yeah. So, and, you look at it this perspective. Like a week ago, we were looking up at the days that were in the 40s. We were going, ooh, look at 46, So I mean, we've really kind of skipped over a season here. So we're going to work our way back and ease back into what would be a little bit more typical pattern.
Meteorologist Brian Niznansky. All right, Niz, enjoy being outside.
Yeah, we're going to be out here again live at 6 o'clock. Honestly, it's been vibrant. I mean, the windows are down. It's a good vibe down here on the south side.
Good stuff. All right, Niz, we'll talk to you tomorrow, buddy.
Yep, later.
It is 5:43 at WTMJ. Tuesdays with Zora. Up next.
WTMJ's Steve Scafidi.
Celebrate with your teammates. This is stupid. Bottom line is, show some class. I don't care where you're from, what you look like. 5, you pick the amount. Put
Neither
that
here nor
aside.
there. Yeah.
Maybe it should just be always what we decide. Maybe the whole 15%, 20%, maybe that's outdated. One more sheriff's commercial about politics or who you're endorsing. Nobody cares. Do your damn jobs.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on WTMJ.
If you have joint pain and they're telling you surgery is your best option, you got to stop what you're doing and call QC Kinetics. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. Professionals at QC Kinetics use the latest, most advanced regenerative treatments to bring lasting pain relief the natural way. Regenerative medicine harnesses your own body's healing agents to restore and repair damaged tissue in your knees, your hips, shoulder, back. Precision treatments. They're all done in office, no drugs, and no downtime. QC Kinetics has hundreds of clinics all over America and thousands of satisfied patients. If your joints are aching from arthritis or injury, look beyond steroids and surgery. Discover the amazing possibilities with regenerative medicine, especially this time of year. We all want to be living life to the fullest, doing the stuff that we love the most. And if you can get lasting relief and avoid going under the knife, well, it makes sense to check it out, right? Call QC Kinetics now. It's a free consultation, no obligations. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Hey, don't wait. 414-285-3474.
We've all experienced that feeling of lacing up a brand new pair of shoes.
And for some reason, it always felt like new shoes made you run faster, jump higher, and of course, look better.
Yeah, it was almost magical.
A brand new set of tires on your car or truck will instantly give you that same magical feeling.
Courtney, I couldn't agree with you more. A new set of treads always makes your vehicle look better, but more importantly, allows you to stop faster and grip the road a whole lot better.
Which is necessary when the weather is bad and driving conditions are poor. You'll appreciate having the extra traction.
Remember, there isn't a tire brand on the planet we can't get.
Everything from Goodyear Continental and Kelly to Dunlop General and Pirelli. If we sell it, we install it.
Plus, every tire we sell automatically comes with free flat tire repair. So be safe, buckle up, and hey, always make sure you've got good tread on your tires. I'm Brett Matchke with Richlands. You're due for service.
Such a refreshing change. Richlands.
The pontoon and deck boat event of the year, April 20th through 23rd at Centerpoint Pewaukee, and you won't believe the deals. Centerpoint Pewaukee, Highway 16 and Capitol Drive. Be there.
Traffic is sponsored by Centerpoint. Don't miss the pontoon and deck boat sales event of the year. Good afternoon, Deb.
Good afternoon, John. We have still a couple of issues. One on southbound 43 at Good Hope Road. Left lane is still blocked with this accident, and the backup stretch all the way into Ozaki County, so be prepared for that. Once you get past that whole scene, everything's fine all the way to the Marquette. The other issue is an accident at Highway F in Waukesha County on 94 eastbound. That's off on the left shoulder. It's a little bit of a backup heading through that area, and then it slows down again through the Barker Road, Gerke's Corners area. That earlier disabled vehicle at Barker has been cleared. And westbound 94 is going to be a bit tight from about 35th Street through the stadium, the eastbound side from Holly Road through the stadium interchange. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast tonight, clear, mild, a low of 58 degrees. Tomorrow, record warmth, a high of 83 degrees. The old record's 82. On Thursday, forecasted another record, sunny, breezy, a high of 81. The record from 1899 is only 79 degrees. On Friday, breezy, mild, a high of 77. On Saturday, a little bit of rain late, a high of 73 degrees. Right now in Milwaukee, pretty nice out, feeling warm. It's 78 degrees. We're going to bring in the Bucs' Zora Stevenson in just a second, but before we get there, let's give away some tickets. Every Tuesday throughout the baseball season on Wisconsin's Afternoon News, we give away tickets to a game, and this week we're giving away tickets. They're good seats, 4 lower-level tickets for the April 25th game against Detroit. And good thing is you don't need to go to Detroit. The game is here in Milwaukee on April 25th, and we've got 4 tickets.
How about caller number 5, Garrett Mitchell's jersey number? Bob Brainerd supplied that good information. Caller 5 to the talk and text line 855-616-1620. You will be the winner this afternoon of Milwaukee Brewers tickets.
And every Tuesday during the baseball season, we will give away tickets. All right, let's bring in our friend Zora Stevenson, Bally Sports, Wisconsin. You see her on Bucs broadcast, and she is awesome. Zora, hello.
What's going on?
So
Big
Bucs
week for the Bucs.
Yeah, Bucs don't play till Sunday. So what are you up to today? Take us inside Zora's Tuesday when the Bucs don't play for several days.
Yeah, you want the full day?
Yeah, let's go.
And...
Say you're outside. Say you're outside. Say you're outside.
Yeah.
What time did you wake up?
Oh, I slept in. So probably was in bed till like 8:39, and then took an Orange Theory class at 9:45. Then came home, had some oatmeal for breakfast, and the Bucs practiced at noon, so I went and watched that. Had a appointment after that, and then rushed home and got ready because I'm hosting the Marquette men's basketball banquet tonight.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
And, yeah, and then hopefully I'll get home in time to watch maybe the West Coast 7-8 playing games. So that is the plan.
So that means you're the MC for the banquet? You're the one at the podium?
Yeah. I'm just kind of directing traffic.
Do you know Shaka?
Their awards. Yeah. We've met a time or two, and of course we're connected because his daughter's name is Zora. So,
nice.
There you go.
Yeah, and I've always been a Shaka Smart fan. When he was back at VCU, I grew up in Virginia, so watched that run, and and then kind of got connected to him once he got to Marquette. So big fan of Shaka Smart and the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, have fun with that. Zora, I would cringe in the past at seeing the Bucs have this much time off until they play a competitive NBA playoff game. But I think with the grind and the push by the players to get the number 1 seed and just everything that this club has been through, even with load management, even trying to make sure guys got rest here and there, I think this week off really will do them well.
I agree. I mean, there's some guys that need healing, right? I mean, Pat Connaughton, Grayson Allen missed the last few games with ankle sprains. Chris Middleton kind of retweaked his ankle, re-aggravated it is the word that Coach Bud used towards the end of last week. And so these 10 days really give the guys some time to heal, which is great. They practice today. Tomorrow will be an individual day. They'll get back after it on Thursday. So the coach is really playing Tetris here. And what's interesting is they can practice all they want, but they're not going to know who they're going to play until Friday night. And so, there's little room right now for strategy prep and game plan and scouting. Obviously, the assistant coaches are watching all the play-in games, but in terms of coming up with a game plan, you don't know who you're playing yet. So I would imagine that they're putting probably 4 different game plans together, just making sure they're ready for any scenario.
Who do you think the Bucks are hoping to face?
Oh, I don't think they're hoping to face anyone in particular because, I've always been told by coaches, like, be careful what you wish for. You never want to wish for a certain opponent. I think each one presents different challenges. When I think of the Toronto Raptors, Nick Nurse, the Wall, the origin of the Wall was in that Eastern Conference Finals series a few years back, and he always throws junk defenses. The Chicago Bulls, it's like the neighboring rivalry, and their fans are icky at times, and so you've got that, and DeMar DeRozan's a guy who can go off. Trae Young can go off with the Atlanta Hawks, but more so Quinn Snyder used to work under Coach Bud, so he knows the entire system. There's just too much going on there. What team? Oh, and Miami, right? They're just, kind of made for the playoffs, like a ready-made team that no matter how they do during the regular season, you got to watch out for them in the playoffs. So every team presents a different challenge that I think the Bucks are up for. So whoever they face, the guys will be ready.
So it's not very often you get to be home for a week, Zora, when the season's going on. So how does that shape up? Do you do most of the cooking for the week? Do you lay low and try to recharge for the week? What's it like? Kind of a nice little thing for you to be home for a week.
Well, on Sunday, I go in and I'm like, okay, this is my week to cook. I'm never home. I've got to hold up my end of the bargain. And then we get to Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm like, oh, you sure you don't feel like cooking? But it's just so nice to be home for an extended period of time. Seasons of life, right? And right now, home is my favorite place just because I'm on the road so much. So really enjoying this week.
What's your go-to? You got to cook one meal. You're going to impress somebody. What's it going to be?
Ooh, it depends. But yesterday I made these honey hot wings in the air fryer.
Ooh,
and
wow.
They were pretty daggone good. Yeah. So that's the last thing I made, and it was spot on.
Sounds like a showstopper. You just got both of these guys' attention.
Honey and what else, Zora? What else? Honey and a little garlic, maybe?
So you season the wings, right? And with garlic, pepper, chicken seasoning, and then once I put them in the air fryer, once they're cooked, I make a honey hot sauce. So basically just hot sauce and honey, and I drench the wings in them. And you would think they were like deep fried or something. They're that good.
That air fryer is a game changer.
You still get your wing fix, but it's a little healthier. At least that's what I tell myself.
What about the team? They're going to be practicing. You kind of ran through that for us. Do they get time to lay low, or will they treat this like any other week?
Oh, for sure. I mean, the fact that they get to be home, right? Spend time with their families and their kids. So, the guys are enjoying this time, at home, prepping. But, once the playoffs start, and this week, like the practice today felt like the start of the playoffs, everything ramps up. Like, you're locked in at a different level. You're even if tomorrow's an individual day, right? Like, guys will get their work in, but they've also got to make sure they do treatment and weights. Like, you're constantly in the gym regardless if there's a game or practice, just because you want to do everything in your power to make sure you're ready when the game comes around on Sunday.
And with the Timberwolves playing the Lakers in their playing game tonight, Zora, I am thankful that the Milwaukee Bucks don't have guys in the huddle punching other guys, punching other teammates.
Well, what's great about the NBA is there's always drama, and what's great about the Bucks is you always get to watch it from afar. It's never happening in this city, which is nice. So the NBA is always entertaining, and it's always nice that the Bucks can kind of stay low key and watch all the drama from afar. She
is Zora Stephenson. Check her out. Check her wings out. You got to post a recipe for that, Zora.
Please do.
Can't give away the secrets.
Yeah, that's true. Always good to have you with us. Thank you, Zora. We'll talk again next week.
Okay, talk soon.
So, Bob, Sandy asked a great question about who they'd hope to play. Mm-hmm. Does it matter to them? We all expect them to say it doesn't matter. We play who's in front of us. We Would they prefer to face or to not face somebody early on, or early on does it not matter?
No, I really think in their bellies to a man, they don't want to say and they don't prefer another team because, as Zora pointed it out, there are different facets that present different problems for all four possible teams that could emerge and play the Bucks. And so I think what you do is you just say, look, we're going to take care of our own business. We have the number one seed. We're the best team. We are built to make another championship run. And I think that really is the case. So if that's the case, then you really don't care who the opponent's going to be come Sunday at Fiserv Forum. The important thing to me, and I mentioned this on Extra Points the other day, the important thing is you have the number one seed. You have home court throughout the playoffs. Take care of business in that building downtown Milwaukee. Just take care. If you do that, if you take care of business, you're going to win every series 4-3 at the very max. So the opponent really doesn't matter, I don't think.
All right, it's 5:56. Business headlines up next.
Hey, this is Steve Scafidi for Badger Fence. If you listen to the show, you've heard me talk about the beautiful new cedar fence